going.
А сейчас ему 21 год, и он играет в Астро. Я помню, когда он в IG был, там организация отправила.
Cignal 要求的拍拍熊啊，个人网络出现了问题。
Join the raffles, try and you know, help out and see what extra little goodies you can get there. Unfortunately, what was the name of the person that that won? The
XX Slayer 69 won the first week of the raffle. I've messaged it, haven't heard back, so we'll see what happens with all of that. You know, I'm gonna give him a bit of time. You know, you don't always have time to tune in to your Twitch streams every single day. But if you wanted some free points, and to be able to, if you had the availability, make sure you hit the old follow button on Aries' Twitch channel. Gets you a free 300 points to be able to wager with and get you closer to that 2,500 needed for the raffle. Looks like he's just restarting his router entirely. Do you want to take the time to show some of the prizes again for the people that aren't entirely aware?
You one sec, real quick.
I might need
set
to
that one up. No green screen. Alright, we are. They get to see no green screen. They're so used to
this is probably the piece de resistance, the very nice Dota mousepad. It is enormous. Got a couple of posters. What else is there? What is this? I mean, this is another smaller mouse pad if you don't have the desk space for it, with the Oracle Fortune's End symbol on that one. What do we got here? Ooh, a Tide Hunter little pin. Very soft, very, I think it's like felt. Naga Siren, very nice. Storm Spirit keychain. These are kind of like, you know, the stress ball material, so they're always quite cool. Nice. And
when you get absolutely
for those hot days,
Storm Spirit.
I know Southeast Asia does get things like this this fan as well. I just mentioned the Storm and the Ember Spirit. Well, they're back again. There's the Storm on that side, Ember Spirit on that side, and you can just fan yourself all day and have a good time. So there's lots of good stuff. I haven't even shown all of it. Let's see if there's anything else left there. A couple of posters if you just wanted to be a bit more low-key about your Dota fandom. Oh, I've even got the from 2018, so OG's first TI win, the little commemorative Aegis pin. It's gonna be really nice. It actually comes with a code as well, so you can unlock it in your profile just to say, hey, I was at TI, even if you weren't. So that's gonna be nice. And then a bunch of these little figurines. It's like Tiny and Io. I've got a Wind Ranger one, Monkey King. I've kept the Earthshaker for myself, and I've kept the Tusk and CM for myself. Just my heroes.
You gotta keep, yeah. You gotta keep
to stay in my possession. Yeah, here's the monkey sleeping on a banana, and here is the Wind Ranger, just laughing, having a good time. So yeah,
there's some good ones.
Lots of stuff to win.
Yeah, you can get some pretty good stuff from the international.
I don't know how good this is going to be showing a poster, but
what you got? What's on the poster? Oh, describe it to us.
Not this one. This is a Smash Brothers one.
Wrong game.
I mean, I might show that one. It's actually a really cool photo for all their fans of Smash as well. I feel like there's a lot of crossover between. This is a Super Smash Brothers Melee poster, and Dota fans. So this was drawn by a local artist. His name is Moxie2D, I think his name is, and it's of the 5 Melee gods, they call them. So you've got Mango, Armada, Mewtwo King, PPMD, and Hungrybox, all with their signature heroes. So it's a very nice poster. Oh yeah, like I call you a zoomer all the time. I am very much a boomer in video game terms at the late end of my 20s. It's just another Smash poster, but this is a Dota one, and it is by this is like the Dire Dude high school Dota poster. Yeah, So you can see, like, you know, you've got the Letterman jacket Spirit Breaker. Looks like he's an American football player. You've got the... Yeah. Oh, I'm hearing noises, though. We back.
A Dota game. Let's get that one back up. We're good to go. So with a reconnect, we haven't missed much, of course. It's just, you know, some more chat shenanigans. That's about it. But at least we get to witness some beautiful Dota again.
Beautiful Dota.
Viewers come for just see the action-packed games. Hopefully we get a nice high kill one as well. I've been, you know, waiting for 100 kills. Try and break that. See if we can get it.
I just want to know what Abart's going to do once he, well, he has now run out of mana. Like, what is he going to do to be able to get any last hits at all? He's getting more and more harassed down by this Pugner, who he's gone into the Null Talisman build. If it was me, I would just rush that Arcane Boot so you can continue spamming things out. I think maybe one Null Talisman is fine for the extra spell.
The river. Grim. This might be first blood, yeah, with the rotation for the Earth Spirit helping out by that power rune. Unfortunately, Lim does get the illusion, so they're not going to refill the bottle here for the Morphling, but at least you're able to pick up the first blood, which was incredibly nice. And I was going to say, like, what is the play here? Does Cignal have to bring a rotation down? But the issue is you've got an Undying. Like, the support coming into the lane and helping the Ursa won't be as strong as something like an Earth Spirit if you had that potential.
Yeah. And that's where the strength of this last pick Pugner really comes into the equation. Even now you've got, you know, just constant harass coming out. If he wanted to make his life even harder, you could honestly just put 1 point into the Nether Ward and just put it off into the trees so that you know, obviously drain your mana whenever he casts, but even just the passive mana drain that you get, you know, like 0.6 of your maximum mana every second is a lot.
Structures are fortified.
Yeah, especially for someone who doesn't have a big mana pool. You see a Bat's kind of struggling, and
Under attack.
I mean, what's he got coming on the courier? So yeah, he had the Orb of Corrosion queued up, and I'm like, I don't know if you go for that item in this lane. It feels like you're not really right-clicking anyone. And do you feel that Cignal have to switch something up soon? Because if it keeps going the way it is, then I mean, DB's free farming at the moment, and soon that tower is going to be put under pressure with the Nether Blast
and the Siege Creep. Don't even forget about that one. Yu's got to look to try and pull this creep wave away.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's just going to enable them to dive, although it looks like Ogre's taking a lot of damage here. Bat trying to stack up these charges here, but now with the rotation from Lim is going to be able to come through, protect off the Ogre. Now Bat's in trouble, still able to make it back underneath the tower. They've done an okay job, honestly, from Cignal from pulling Army Geniuses away, but you see,
nicely done,
they're still going to drag the creeps, so they're protecting the catapult wave, so just an extra little bit of chip damage.
Yeah, you tanked up 3 hits from that tower there just to make sure that the Siege Creep can continue living for as long as possible. Again, it is not about making Pugner have the most amazing lane possible. It is just denying Abart everything that he could possibly want. Finally, they're going to let this Siege Creep go down, and it's probably one of his, you know, first last hits for the past few minutes, but it's I don't want to say it's looking grim, but it's definitely a rough game for Abart, and yeah, it's nothing that he can do about it. You know, it was the last overall pick Pugner.
Yeah, well, the pick's working incredibly well so far for Army Geniuses, and you see Grims is forced to come down bot, but I mean, Ursa could be in trouble. The burst damage that's able to come out thanks to the help of the Decrypt and the Nether Blast connection, Ursa's going to end up losing his life down here in the bottom lane, and I wonder if they're just going to force a full switch up here, because Abart is really struggling already with the internet connection, and then the Ursa is not having a good game. But meanwhile, the Morphling does end up falling though in the mid lane.
Yeah, it just shows the strength of having these really comfort heroes. You know, Jamesy's always been a fantastic player of this mid-Mars.
Under attack.
Grims did actually have the Soul Rip available for the Ursa there, so could have potentially gone for the save. I think he probably still would have gone down just because of having 3 heroes right on top of him, but you never know. Immediately gets speared back into the tower as soon as he TP. Get out of here, you're not getting any right clicks.
And it's nice because Jamesy didn't have to pop the ultimate to get that kill. So now if they bring a rotation maybe to try and assault the Mars and pick him off, then you can always, underneath the tower, drop that arena, maybe get a TP rotation from like the Shadow Demon. And you can turn it back on their heads here. But finally we've seen the Ursa. He's out of bot. He's had enough. He's going to join Van up at the top side. So they're looking to try and just put a little bit of pressure on top of the tier 1. This will free up bot. So DB's freely going to be able to take the tower. And let's see what Army Geniuses want to do after they've taken that objective.
Van's had a decent time on this top side though, right? At least you're going up against a right clicker in the Night Stalker, so that's always going to be the case. But it's definitely going to be up to him to control the tempo for this next little bit. Coming out to the Ursa now, he's just rushing the phase boots. He knows that it's not going to be the power treads game for this Ursa, just, you know, being able to sit back and farm. He needs to try and make something happen. Can he still go the Battle Fury? Probably, but I feel like you just need that transition item that's going to make something happen right now.
Now Wommy coming through mid. Grim's got some TP rotations. Are they diving a bit too far here? It's just 2 euros at the moment, but the rest of Army Geniuses are looking to wrap on mid as well in case a full team fight does break out. Night Stalker has to commit the ultimate here just to enable a disengage, and they don't have control at the moment here, so the Morphling just freely able to run himself away. And this is kind of the issues that we were seeing in the draft from Cignal Ultra, where their lack of control might really hinder them.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And their heavy reliance on physical damage as well, right? You've got the Legion Commander, you've got the Ursa. Mars can do a little bit throughout the Decrepify, but just being able to be feeling really reliant on that to be able to save from multiple instances of damage is going to feel really good for DB and Army Geniuses.
And with the good start that Pugner's had, we're also going to see just this immense amount of magic damage come through in the early game, where, you know, Radiant, if they don't really have the sustain to deal with it, and the high levels as well, is going to be a nice factor. The down bot Legion trying to go for a solo kill on the Pugner. It's not going to have the damage, and our Van's going to be kind of careful. DB, not too much mana to be able to continue. So an ambitious duel, not going to be able to win that one. Might have a fight break out in the river though.
10-minute mark. You just used the Dark Ascension as well, so Wommy, he's going to have to get out of dodge here. Just play a little bit more passive for the next minute or so. I'm liking this drums pick up as well, but he's gone here. Underrated item. You saw the cores pick it on every single hero in the past phase, but that'll be the case. You gets picked off though as he goes on a bit of a warding mission. They know they've got wards there now at least. But yeah, 8 charges on that drums really enables a lot of this early team fight to happen.
Yeah. I'm surprised we don't honestly see it as much as what we do. Excited to see how Wommy is able to utilize it throughout the early game fights. And Banishment's a nice setup here for the spear. Morphling at least able to get the attribute shift off, and looks like Cignal just forced some rotations. They dropped the tomb and aren't really able to get the deny at least, yeah. The start from Cignal means James, he's got 1900 gold, and I wonder if he's going to go for a blink just to enable their initiation and kind of help out with this lack of catch that they've got right now. But Abak could be in trouble up top. He's got the ultimate's going to slowly minimize the damage that comes through from Army Geniuses. Is this enough time for the rest of Radiant to come over? Nice sidestep on the Ursa. Now Cignal, the reinforcements have arrived, and the cavalry looking to punish Army Geniuses. They've pushed up the mark here. However, down to the southern side, Shadow Demon just runs into the Pugner and the Night Stalker without the help of the team. Won't be able to keep his life. Van does at least get a dual victory though.
This little victory, and Abada gets the kill, so that's really important for Cignal right now. Being able to kite them out for long enough, one of the big strengths of the Ursa, of course, having that enrage, so that even if you were trying to stun him, doesn't really matter all that much. But you just saw the strength there of the Night Stalker, just being able to quickly get on top of the Shadow Demon. He popped the first charge of his Drum of Endurance. That's fine, considering you've got so many charges remaining, and it just makes the SD a complete non-factor in these fights.
Open, and James has got Blink now. So we'll see if they can get a nice little reveal here, and it's just going to continue to relieve the pressure. The fact that Ursa got the kill and Abat's finally been able to get a little bit of farm. This broadsword's completed, 700, about to be 780 gold at the bank, so If you can maybe get a couple of pickoffs and minimize the momentum that Army Genius has been building up, and doesn't even have to drop the ultimate, just a nice spear pushback, and Cignal will clean up you there, and even a back gets another kill. So he's just coming over, getting that last right click. He's going to be loving life at the moment.
Is under attack.
Van, unfortunately, is on trouble up top. They saw the heavy emphasis they put on the Ogre mid with a couple of their heroes, so they're well aware that Cignal don't have the numbers to be able to protect the Legion Commander, but he's so hard to bring down.
That movement speed is
Dire's middle tower
way
is
too
under
ridiculous.
attack.
Like 440 movement speed 13 minutes into the game. Will mean that Army Geniuses, they don't fully commit onto it. They rotate back into the mid lane, make sure they don't take out that tower, but
Dire's bottom tower.
I'm a
is
little
under
surprised then
attack.
on making more aggressive movements right now on Cignal. You know, you just picked up that Blink Dagger, you know the Dark Ascension was just used, and by delaying their all-in push a little bit here, sure you've given a little bit more space for a butt to farm, but Dark Ascension's back up online now. They're able to do something with Womi.
Yeah, see if they can utilize this pressure and try and make a play coming through. But Jamesy needs a little bit of mana right now. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go back, and potentially with the Mars getting a refill in his mana pool, then they might look to try and make something happen. But Pugner just has a Blink Dagger completed as well from DB. Already 8th lens Blink. Very, very farm for this Pugner.
For sure. He's just making sure to refill the HP pool of his Morphling. That's the luxury with the Pugner as well, going for that 8th lens build. Of course, the range is always great. Limb's probably gonna die. Oh, the duel!
He got the jewel, but the roll away doesn't matter. One more right click, nicely done. I'm like, is Van gonna try and get this jewel off? It was on cooldown if he could get in range, and well, that he did. But it looks like still Army Geniuses want to try and protect the tier 1 tower. The only issue is that really the Morphling's gonna struggle with being able to defend the engagement, but they drop the arena coming down as well. Morphling's gonna try
Big kill.
and got the Night Stalker, but Jamesy will pay the price here, so it's a 1-for-1 underneath the tier 1 tower. Morphling's gonna try and deal with the Tombstone. Meanwhile, Wommy, he's shoving away the Shadow Demons, so they won't offer this banishment protection here, but it's just a Night Stalker at the moment, so the damage until the Void comes back up is a little bit lackluster, and you see it's gonna pay the price here, as it just enables Eris to continue stacking up the poison.
Yeah, how many poison stacks was it at the end? I mean, it was 817 magical damage that he dealt through all of that chasing, so it turns out there is a little bit too deep that you can go, but yeah, so important to be able to take out that Pugner at the start of the team fight, and on top of that, Cignal were able to get that team fight win without a butt. So he is getting very close to picking up that Blink Dagger, that Battle Fury for himself, and really starting to come back into this game despite a horrible laning stage.
The shining spot as well for Army Geniuses, I guess, in their regard, is the fact that Morphling is still top of the net worth, and he's looking strong. But for Cignal, is this where you go Battle Fury, BKB, get that first Aegis, and then really look to ramp up the pressure?
I think that might be the case. Or they're going in onto Van, making sure that movement speed isn't a factor by immediately silencing him up, kicking him back into the team fight. And they've even got this siege creep here to be able to assist with the push, although yeah, you can see here Wommy, he's just tanking up as many of those tower hits as he can.
Radiant's
Very
middle
nice play
tower
from
is
Army
under
Geniuses.
attack.
Just the little things, that's what I like to see.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think, like I mentioned before, going for this more brawling style in the Ursa, just to, and they executed it to perfection, right? Getting a couple of those kills, but realizing that, look, this is another potential way that Cignal could come back into the game, taking the Roshan. Let's do it ourselves. We've got double damage, we've got a lot of items for ourselves. That's the Manta completed and coming out to the Ursa already, I believe.
Well, they're going to start Jamesy with Blink Fall, but he needs to drop the arena massively inside the middle of the Roche pit. It's still the Morphling's going to work with the double damage. The Age is going to get claimed, and now with the silence as well, Eris ends up falling. They got the jewel on top of the backline. How Van's able to deal with this Earth Spirit here, but you still got to be careful because it looks like Army Geniuses, they want more blood as they've Delta split away from the rest of the team. Grims will pay the price here. It's a double for the Morphling, and they're still hunting for Van. However, Wommy, along with DB, chasing underneath the top tier 1 tower. Wommy will finally pop that Dark Ascension to the later stage of the fight, just helping out with the vision, so Pugner can dish out that little bit of magic damage that they were lacking there to find that kill. And Well, that's a big fight for Army Geniuses. They buy back on the Ogre, but they just lose their 2 supports, and utilizing that room control, popping the DD, walking in Roche, and forcing a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. They did everything that they wanted to. Again, it was another one of these team fights where, I don't know if it was positioning or what, but when you've maxed out that Soul Rip, you got to get it onto the Ursa, just for that little bit of extra control away from, well, running down the rest of your team, and just wasn't able to do it. It's happened once in bot lane, once in that team fight, and again, the power of vision really showing itself with Army Geniuses having complete control over these entrance points into the Roche pit. Well, didn't scout it out. I suppose it's nighttime, so Grims needs to get right up there. You should see it now. Yep, that's one of them. But I think this one in the river should still stay alive for a little bit. You're not assuming to have that kind of vision this early on.
Nice roll. Ursa just stops the duel. You look at him dangle. Cignal Ultra just get baited by the Ogre Magi. This dude's a professional dangler right now. Army Geniuses find 3 across the map, and they're going to try and think about taking the tier 2. They even get the Tombstone as well. So what's now a 4,000 net worth lead for Dire.
Feeling really strong about their prospects right now. DB, he's trying to find someone else out here with the Invis rune. I don't know if you could dive tier 2 though. I think that might be a little bit too aggressive.
Well, they're going to try. They got the ward in the back line, and with the silence, I mean, Undying, the ultimate's not really going to do much there.
As long as he's not under the tier 2, it's fine. And they got him in that one little pocket where it's actually safe to do so.
Radiant's bottom tower.
But that's another tower god. That's a tier 2 as well. So there's the potential to take over that outpost. Really just strangle them up even more. DB, he's completely rushing this Yule. Actually, he goes the Dagon. Wow. I don't see why not, Burst damage, always going to be fantastic. And it means that Van has to be even more selective about when he uses that duel.
Is this a little bit too over anti here from Army Geniuses? Are they pushing the tempo a bit too much?
No, why not? Like, you've gone this Battle Fury on the Ursa. He clearly needs to farm.
Oh,
and
they found him,
going to be
though.
able to count him out, yeah.
Oh god, a bat. I mean, look at what you do. You just force the rest of Radiant back. Womy's able to find the Ursa, free pickoff, and I mean, Army Geniuses, they're really utilizing this power spike they have at the moment. They're not even with the Battle Fury picked up on the Ursa, like, he still needs that extra item, and with the Aegis, like, Radiant don't have a lot of stuns, so to burst down the Morphling, I mean, already going through the first life's going to be hard enough, especially with the decrep protection, but now you've got to go a second life, so Morphling more than likely is going to get that attribute shift off, and they can just walk high ground. They had the cat. You've got the Ursa that's not looking to fight, and they're really, I'm impressed with how Army Geniuses are playing.
Yeah. The only thing that I want to see on this partner that he's not already doing is turning the Boots of Speed into Tranquils. It makes complete sense to go the Arcane Boots first because it, you can just disassemble it into the Eighth Lens. But if he's playing this, medic type of role for the Morphling, you always want to be able to have a decent amount of health yourself just by passively staying on the back ends of the team fight, not relying on being able to life drain something else aggressively.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I still just want towers. They know that Radiant lacking a lot at the moment at the 20-minute stage in this game 1, so they're looking to continue putting the pressure on, and that's just another tier 2 that's going to fall. And now you see the lines drawn. They want to shove top, get the rest of the remaining outer towers here, and well, Cignal Ultra, they're going to have to make something happen really soon.
Even like, it's the small decisions that I'm really liking on this Army Geniuses roster, right? Like, throughout that entire time, they've been making these 5-man aggressive plays. This time, they're like, okay, Womi, you're very close to picking up your halberd. Let's just actually go as 4, because the past, 4, 5 team fights has been full 5-man Army Geniuses. They are playing scared right now on Cignal Ultra's side, so despite the fact that they were undermanned at that team fight, you don't really need a daytime Night Stalker to be able to push into a tower. So they just leave him back, he's able to finish it up, now he's pushing in the tower, and yeah, just the order that they took those towers, leaving the tier 1 tower top, it's pretty much useless now that Roche was down, right? And you don't want to refresh the glyph before you have to. So they've just been able to clear out all of the towers on the other lanes, and now they're going to go into top. So it's hard to find a fault here.
Legion did just pick up a Blink Dagger, so let's see if this initiation factor that Van can have, if it's going to help out there, but Oh, Shadow Demon Illusion. Nice little bait there. Wummy pops the Dark Ascension, but there we go. I mean, Dire, there's another DD on the Morphling. They've gotten all the remaining outer towers here, and they're even still thinking about walking up the high ground.
And you gotta pop this clip.
Yeah, look at that tower getting melted. I mean, now they're coming back, but Ursa still doesn't have the BKB, so he's trying to farm the jungle to get towards it, but Jamesy's got his, and yeah, they're just going to tier 3 tower, and with the Dark Ascension expiring, they're going to back off. Like, Army Geniuses, man, looking strong.
As soon as this Ursa picks up the BKB, they need to go immediately, and he actually TP'd back before that, so he was in a safe spot, jungling up. Doesn't even have the Mithril Hammer on himself, which could be the difference, that little bit of extra damage. How aggressive Lim is playing. He knows that they're probably going to go for a smoke as well here, right? He's just putting himself at the top of all of these ramps, trying to catch them out. He doesn't, but they also know, well, if they're not there, then they have to be on the other side of the map. All the drawing is happening there. Man, just complete game understanding here from Army Geniuses. This is really good.
Dire's middle tower is under
Look at how they're playing. Yeah, this is just so on point, and they've got so much vision advantage as well because how the lanes are situated. Like, top shoved in, they had the ward, the Earth Spirit was in a spot to be able to pop the smoke if they were heading top. He didn't find the connection. And Dire were also grouped up underneath the tier 2 tower if they wanted to kind of counter smoke and then take another engagement there. But they'll lose the tier 1 mid, so at least Radiant get a tower. Maybe this can give the gold required for a Bart's BKB. And yeah, it looks like it's coming out, but they've... Looks like Undying just picks up another smoke, so it's probably still go time for them.
Yeah, but by the time now that you finished up this BKB with being able to slow all that down, when you're going to get to Army Geniuses, Dark Ascension's going to be back online, and that's going to be, what, another 30-second duration. By the time it expires, you're actually going to have real nighttime, so it's looking a little bit rough here. There we go, they go in.
Well, he's got the BKB. Let's see if the magic damage is still coming through. It's going to be a little bit too much before he pops it. He's able to get it off now with the magic community. He drops the arena, but the Morphling's going to be careful because committed with the waveforms, so they're going to turn instantly. With the Morphling, he draws out from Van, and they find the kill. Showing up big there is Cignal Ultra in that engagement. They want more blood as well as the Bat's going to move forward. They find all 3 from Army Geniuses. Uh-oh. The Morphling just committed a little bit too far, and, well, Van was able to find the correct target. Nice fight for them.
Yeah, good repositioning usage as well there, making sure to keep cutting him away from the Pugner as much as he could. He tried to get the life drain off to be able to sustain him in the middle of that fight, but it just wasn't enough.
And that's what Cignal were... Those felt like their only chance, honestly. BKB from a Bart. If you don't win that fight, then their next timing on the Ursa would have been just 5 minutes after that, and it just would have been way too long. Army Geniuses would have had too much of a net worth lead, and that is now the hope that Cignal can turn this game around, because this is now a 3,000 net worth lead, and all of a sudden we might really see these aggressive wards that they placed previously with the smokes. It might, you know, now enable them to find a couple of pickoffs. And you got to keep in mind, if Van also keeps finding some dual victories, only on 50 at the moment, but we've seen what Van can do on the Legion.
Yeah, he's like you mentioned before, he's lacking a little bit there, but it's not really about the pickoffs. It's relying on Army Geniuses to make a few mistakes like that one there. I think you're not in a position still, despite that one teamfight victory, to be feeling yourself all too much. Just be composed, be level-headed, and you've still got a chance in this game.
For Dire, it is nighttime, and with Roshan available, thinking about trying to group up, but Radiant are pretty aware of this. You see instantly they drop that ward in a spot to be able to scout them out walking in Roche. So they've got the information required here. Let's see if they can utilize that intel though. They're even going to make sure they get some further confirmation. And well, it does reveal now for Army Geniuses that Cignal Ultra know they're in the Roche pits. They're going to back off and smoke up. But I mean, Ursa just completed a Bastion. Look at the positioning. Nicely done from Cignal. But Wommy's still going to have the advantage here with the Dark Ascension. They're going to be careful. Helbert's out. So they're cutting out the Helbert start. Jamesy, beautiful arena on top of the backline. They find DB and he's in trouble. It's a lot of damage. Gets a decode for the protection, but he can't get outside the arena. Jamesy's initiation is going to be able to enable it here. They're able to find the jewel as well. Ursa with the damage. They find a second target. All of a sudden, Cignal Ultra with the net worth lead, and they're back in this game.
And they're gonna get the Roshan.
Man, is this where you're kind of kicking yourself about having a Dagon now? Like, he's still buying even more, but just the arena from Jamesy, that's all they needed. Like, Pogner got melted and the rest of the team couldn't commit inside.
It's again that power of information. Perfect observer ward being put down there by Eris, realizing that, look...
What the speed? Oh, Jamesy, what was that? I don't know if they didn't see Lim at all, but... I still wouldn't have got the Aegis because I think Grims would have blocked him, but it's so funny that he got that connection at that time.
I think you're always like, if you've got any sort of stun that just can go on the ground, just throw it out right onto Barosh. Against a Night Stalker, against an Earth Spirit, there's always the threat, even a Morphling, right? Two of them are dead.
Wow, what a game we got now. Cignal Ultra, I mean, they had a deficit of about 8,000, and now they're swinging these past two fights as soon as that BKB was picked up. But now look at the items coming through. Deso for the Mars. Ursa's getting closer now to the Abyssal Blade, already completed the Basher. You know, we're seeing another dual victory for the Legion, getting close to the BKB. So they're going to have triple BKBs for the cause on Radiant, and that's going to be so important against Dai's magic damage lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to harp on about it again, but I feel like those Tranquils are really important for Pugner. Just the extra movement speed at the very start of team fights. It never feels like, you know, he's being caught out solo. It's just in all of these team fights where, you know, perhaps he needs to be half a second quicker on his positioning to be just outside of the arena. That fight is entirely different if he just has a little bit more space to play with.
Well, now it feels like Army Genius is losing the momentum. They're on the back foot, and Morphling's going to have to try and build into a BKB here.
Yeah, getting hyper-aggressive before, just to be able to even get out of the arena, right? The only heroes... I mean, I guess the Night Stalker can, Earth Spirit can roll through and have a good time, but yeah, Morphling, if you've already used that aggressive waveform, you got no other potential saves other than reaching level 25, and Pugner, I think that's going to be the key differential there. But how often do you actually see a Pugner go a BKB this early before he's got his full complement of damage items?
Radiant, they're smoking up. It is going to pop, so you will scout that out. They still have two heroes that are smoked up, and they see Wommy, and Van's going to be able to initiate here. Do they have the damage to be able to bring him down through the jewel? With that fresh Desolator picked up, it's still not enough. Pugner is just going to be able to at least keep Wommy alive for a little bit longer. Lim's even going to roll in forward, but doesn't have the stone, just pushes him back and pop the Dark Ascension for that, which is a pretty long cooldown here.
Yeah. So is the Flesh Golem, I suppose, but it's same CD. Gonna mind all that much. More bounties coming out. I'm not sure what this double fluffy hat situation on the Ogre Magi is all about, especially since one of them's sitting in his backpack.
Radiant are scanning.
4 DB, okay. Whew. They just got Eris there in the nick of time for that vision. It would have been so nice, but... And when we see what Eris has got queued up, he's got the Force Staff into the Aghanims.
Why not? You know, just being able to consistently kite them out. You want the extra points to be able to get rid of the Decrepify as much as possible. I don't see an issue.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And there we go. There's that triple BKB now from Cignal Ultra. So looking in commanding position as they've still got the Aegis for another minute 20 here. So we're going to try and see them utilize this. Do you think Cignal walk up high ground? And I mean, they're looking like they might.
No Dark Ascension makes it a really realistic prospect, you know. You've got a siege creep as well, so why not? Even the Jamesy, even if he can just get one right click in onto this tower, I know he's kind of wanting to be able to catch people out with the Arena of Blood, but the tower taking potential is going to be a lot quicker if you can get that minus armor, but they catch the Ogre.
Instantly melted here. Jamesy, you see, he's even got the shard as well. Claims the kill. Ogre does have a buyback available, but Dai just going to try and force the Glyph to help out with the next creep wave, but Radiant then mirror that as well, so they really want to walk up, so now it forces the Ogre to buy back. Still, Wommy doesn't have that Dark Ascension for another 20 seconds. Cignal got to be careful how long they stick around. Bat Age is slowly ticking down. Another 30 seconds available.
Yeah.
Maybe they can double back if Dire push out too far because they have this nice ward advantage.
Well, they should know exactly when Dark Ascension is coming back online because of Undying using his Flesh Golem at the same time. And, that's just come back off, so they know that they've got this available.
Both teams spoke up, but Dire actually were running mid. They thought Radiant were fully going back, but they're just walking up.
Yeah.
And now this might give an opportunity for the wraparound. You see Grimm's position, you know, nicely placed on the Undying. They're going to be able to find him first. Let's see if they can bring him down. Tombstone's still on cooldown, unfortunately here. The Ghost Scepter's going to do nothing versus the magic damage, but it's going to buy back rolling once again. But inside the base, I mean, James is just dealing with the Rax. The Aegis will now tick out the Weather Control coming through. Finally, they drop the arena, but just on top of the Earth Spirit, Cignal Ultra will lose their extra support. About how they've been able to find the Morphling Abyssal Blades forward, however, they just don't have the damage now with the lock coming out. He's got the magic immunity. Deals with the Rapskit, drops a Tombstone on top of the backline of Radiant. They've used a little bit too much and haven't got enough out of it, so they need a retreat away. Leech Commander pops the cheese, but looks like James is the real target. Lim's going to be able to claim it with the buyback into the roll in. It allows the rest of Cignal Ultra to retreat, but it looks like still with the Earth Spirit, he wants to catch more. That Ewer Scepter locking in Van, and now Army Geniuses will be able to find an extra target here as they punish Cignal from going a little bit too far.
Yeah, just fighting into that Dark Ascension is always so scary, and that Blink Dagger seriously paying off for DB, just allows him to reposition himself immediately when these team fights do happen.
See that when they couldn't burst the Morphling through the duel, the past couple of fights they've been able to do so successfully. We've seen past couple of fights the arena have a lot more impact as well, controlling more key opponents than just the Earth Spirit, who had a buyback and had some very big impact throughout that later stage of the fight there. It was just a little bit Cignal couldn't use their lack of stuns to be able to burst heroes down, and when they went on cooldown, you saw they kind of just got kited.
It's all about the mobility right now for this Pugner. If DB lives, I feel like Army Geniuses wins the fight every single time. It's that important against all of this high physical damage. You know, maybe things will turn on its head a little bit once the Shadow Demon finishes up the Ag Scepter and is able to get the charge for the Demonic Purge, but it's certainly a scary prospect regardless of when in the game it is. Might cause him to go for the extra life drain heal as well, as opposed to the decrep talent, once he does see that that's what the Shadow Demon's building into.
He's even got the spider legs as well from the Pugner, so just
yeah.
extra kind of mobility. That's such a nuts item still. Do you think that the spider legs should have been taken out when we saw a couple of the neutral items get swapped out?
I think it's like... It's not an unfun item, if that makes sense, you know? Like, the repair kit is not a fun item because it's it's boring, it stalls the game out, it's not completely busted like that, and, you know, things like a Fallen Sky, for example. It just it adds a layer of complexity, which I do like.
Yeah, no one really liked playing into the repair kit. That was so stupid. It was actually just dumb. You know, we saw it throughout the later stages. A lot of people started to even utilize that extra regen that you were able to get from it, but just the active was, man, had to take a couple of nerfs for people to stop using it as much.
Yeah, I think the only completely ridiculous item these days is the Spell Prism. Like, it gives way too much. You could have the cooldown reduction and just remove the 12 stats, and it would still be a very, very strong item.
Yep, no doubt. All right, now Radiant grouping up at the moment, trying to push through this bottom wave here. They got the tier 2 still standing, but it looks like they want to try and get control around the triangle before that 5-minute interval. Let's see if Dire are going to smoke up and head to their own triangle, but they, I believe, were just underneath the Radiant Observe Ward. Looks like they're getting set up. Dire, their own Observe Ward doesn't really scout out much. They do see the chorus, so they're well aware of the positioning. Want to drop a ward on that high ground just yet. Will do so, but he's not in a spot to pop it at the moment, and they might actually be able to catch out Eris at the perfect timing. Wami utilizing that intel coming through for the Dark Ascension is going to stop James's blink as well, thanks to the Agnes Void. But now with the rolling forward, Eris in trouble. The arena drops on 2, but now the jewel's going to come through. Morphling just melted. No, he didn't get the attachment shift and they block the roll. The Abyssal Blade controlling up Limb. Army Geniuses, a fight that doesn't break out in their favor there as the Morphling falls through that first stun duration.
Ooh.
No buyback too.
No buyback.
And they're going to do a lot of damage on this tower. Like, Van's up to 100 damage now. James has got death, so Dire, they're in trouble here.
Yeah, and they got that BKB off as well, so he was taking a lot of damage. DB, he's doing his best to be able to cut the waves, but you've already got 2 running into your base, so good luck with that one.
Man, look at these towers just get melted here. There's nothing they can do. You're just going to have to let a full set go. But you got to keep in mind, Cignal, they've already breached top side, so not a lot of racks remaining. And now Ogre's even going to end up falling. Jamesy with a nice spear pushback. And Yu doesn't have a buyback, so they're just picking off heroes left, right, and center without an opportunity to be able to return the game.
I tip my spear.
They've even now got, if they were looking to try and make any sort of attempt on them as they were making their retreat, you've got the Blink and Arena of Blood back online for Jamesy, so he's sitting pretty here. Man, but he has seriously come back into this game. Been just being able to sell that Orb of Corruption. He doesn't need any more to the secret shop. Just that little bit of extra gold in case it does come to a buyback situation. He's a little bit closer.
Dire's top barracks has
And they're even pinging out Roche. They want just the outpost control in case for the buyback for a TP spot. And this is the 3rd Roche as well, so it's going to be the Ag's Blessing here from Cignal if they're able to do it fast enough before Army Geniuses get in range. And they've just got to do some lane maintenance at the moment. Top, all the lanes are honestly shoved in, so there's no hope for Army Genius to contest them all. Luckily enough, if you find that Aegis here means that the Shadow Demon doesn't have to buy the items, and well, yeah, there we go. He's got the Blessing, and maybe we can see him go for the Shard as next instead.
What's he gonna buy up? Going Octarine core now. He's already got the point booster. Nah, he's just gonna go into the 4 stuff, a little bit more save. I was wondering, like, you know, you might have looked to give it to the Ursa if it wasn't this game, but they've got a good balances, which is actually the one way to deal with the Ursa Ags. Stunned, you can use it, but silence,
Radiant smoking around here, Van, trying to find the opening. Looks like Dire with their positioning, however, they're kind of more to the northwestern side, so this rat from Van's not going to work in their favor. Still a bat on this front line. Let's see if the Ursa is going to be able to bait them to move forward, but they're doing their best to be able to drag the creeps off. The only issue is that there's constantly going to be this threat of, you know, top and bot shoved in, so they won't have to worry about backdoor from Cignal, but it looks like without a pick-off, going to be a little bit too difficult going up into the 5 heroes from Army Geniuses.
5 heroes. On top of that, the Bloodlusted Tower. I feel like a lot of teams really underestimate the damage that the tower itself is able to do. It's got Bloodlust, you pop the glyph, and you are dealing a lot of right-click damage onto multiple heroes.
It's even going to be nice for Wami now, who just picks up the level 20 talent. So with that Bloodlust, you've already got the extra attack speed. You got that damage talent now from the plus 35 at the 20 talent. So, you know, we'll see if Wami is able to kind of bring down the Shadow Demon. I think that's the big target here from the Night Stalker, finding that kill to start the fight. And we've even seen as well, this Aghanim's for the Night Stalker is kind of nice to at least be this AoE factor to stop the blinks on like the Legion and the Mars. But they're coming outside the base, Radiant. Their ward's more down to the southern side, so they're unable to really utilize the moment. Wami is going to be able to find the Shadow Demon, instantly pops the Ghost Scepter, is going to be active for a little bit, but it looks like the rest of Army Geniuses, the target prioritization, they really want to try and bring down Shadow Demon. They're straight on top of it. Let's see if Van's going to be able to protect him, gets the Jewel out. Where's the extra damage coming through? Finally going to be able to get it with the rest of Cignal coming over to help inside the river. And Army Geniuses, the rest of them cannot continue forward. They've got to go back inside the base as they lose 2.
It's been the exact same story in at least 3 team fights. You know, the Night Stalker goes onto him, he pops the Ghost Scepter, such a value item. Like, it does not matter if you're silenced. They need the stuns to layer in on top of that to be able to actually burst down this Shadow Demon. But it just hasn't quite been there. They've only got the 1 stun outside of the mini stun and the adaptive strike. It's that Earth Spirit. So I think maybe needing to play a little bit more together was Lim.
Oh, a bat. He's found the pocket and just instantly melted that Blink Abyssal Blade. You've got so much catch range there. Dropping the Observe Ward, finding the vision, and I mean, now it's Megas.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Oh god, Army Geniuses. What can you do here? You're gonna buy back on the Pugner's, gonna be able to rejoin them, but Wommy's still not alive for another 15 seconds. They're gonna try their best to kite out a bar, but his back down drops the nullifier. The Ogre won't have any defensive factor here. They're gonna try and get back inside the Babes arena, inside the throne pretty much. But are they gonna dive the fountain? But he wants to as well. They're protected thanks to the ultimate from James, but now once it expires, they're gonna be careful. But can they kick him back in? It looks like it's not required. And have they dived a little bit too far though? The rest of Radiant, they've still got 4 heroes. Can they protect him? They get the roll perfectly. Now with Silence's ball prevents any more follow-up. Even with the extra on top of the Legion Commander, no press attack available. Van didn't commit the BKB. Now has to use it to try and TP out, but he will still fall. The damage from the Morphling, these attacks starting to stack up here, but you've got to go through Megas on Army Geniuses.
You just gotta go all mid. That's it. Simple as that. You know, maybe leave. Does anyone have boots of travel? I don't think I saw any of them on the Army Geniuses side, so maybe Pugner just farming up a little bit of gold here, unlocking his boots of speed, picking up the boots of travel, and just trying to keep these waves pushed out as much as he can. You just needs to join the rest of his team. They need everything that they can to push out these lanes. So giving themselves a tiny little window for success. You know, you're saying there's a chance, and it definitely does exist.
2%.
The next label play.
We've seen Mega Creeps come back so far through the lower division. It was with the help of a Rapier. Let's see if the Morphling's able to get enough to pick that one up. Already has one component, but up they go. Radiant not having buybacks. Van's the only one. Not that they really need to buy back. They've still got the Glyph.
Yeah, there's that boots of travel on the Pugner, so he's going to be able to join the rest of his team.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Kind of need to do it now. Well, that's one later axe. Small victories.
Top's exposed as well, so, you know, at least they're gonna have a little bit of gold back in their pocket. Closer to the Rapier is the Morphling. They even got some bounties still left to claim as well, but I mean, this is... They even at least get outside the base down to be able to pick up some tier 4 neutral items. That's another thing. I mean, they're about 5 minutes behind on getting any.
Oh, the Spell Prism going to be real nice. And you've got a Rapira queued up for this Morphling. And he just had a Tome of Knowledge bought by you and fed into him. They're like, please, just get level 25, please. Carry us, Morphling Sama.
Yeah, you see Wommy's even saving the bottom wave as well. Just dump everything into the Morphle and feeding as much as they can. But Radiant, this is super fast for them. Van might be able to find it instantly. Bat's going to jump forward. Look at the catch once again. They did it previously on the Ursa with the Blink and the Abyssal Blade range. It's just through the roof. And now Jamesy would him forward as well. They find just the Ogre, who does have a buyback. They need this Rapier. You see the Courier standing by the secret shop, but does the Morphling have enough time to be able to pick this one up?
I mean, he had his 2 Manta Illusions just sitting there, not actually farming or pushing out this bottom wave at all. So not only are you going to get some additional pressure coming through from the creeps, but you just were a little bit slower in picking that one up. Finally, it's going to skirt down the sides, but you're going to be without a Pugner for this team fight, which is pretty scary.
Now the Dark Ascension expires as well, so instantly above. Once again, it's just going to blink forward, pick off the Ogre Magi. Now that's 2 heroes down, a dieback for you. Woman's going to try and move in, but just look at the damage. Ursa can stand his ground. Where's the Morphling? But on the back, man! The Blink Dual Rapier dropped, and that's it. The G Cignal Ultra. Keep in mind, they came back incredibly well in this game here.
Well, what was it sitting at? Like a 85% win rate, maybe 80 or so?
Yeah.
It was at around 20 minutes into the game, and that's all it takes is that one bad team fight.
Dire team ban. Radiant team pick.
I'm going in.
Dire team pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our second game between Cignal Ultra. The amount of emphasis on, and Army Geniuses back onto the dire side. They've got this second overall pick, but Cignal going to open up with the Nyx Assassin here in this second game.
Not even questioning, like, when the Shadow Demon gets ban priority over the puck, you know that that's what Army Geniuses are feeling about how differential that hero was for the outcome in that game. You know, if he survives, it felt like Cignal Ultra were winning every single team fight. So just removing it from the pool, that damn Ghost Scepter as well, Maybe the Nullifier could have been a
10
better pickup
seconds
than,
remaining.
I don't know, the Ags that was built up by the Night Stalker. Who knows?
5
But it doesn't look like they're going to go into that path anyway with the Elder Titan picked up. So something completely different from Army Genius's side. Same thing with the Nyx Assassin, actually, which does block out a bunch of heroes from Army Genius's hero pool.
And this is the swap in the bans. So Army of Geniuses in that game 1, they banned the Nyx and the Puck. Now putting an emphasis on Shadow Demon with a very strong performance in the game 1 enables the Nyx Assassin to get let through here. So you see, if you got a good game 1 and those supports have a nice kind of impact in the game, then it can really then to further enable what your second draft can kind of look like.
For sure. I think as well, like, this is still very much a potential Mars pick for Cignal Ultra. Why not? Van can play it. We've seen how great Jamesy can play it. He's sitting in my background right now, and you know, you've got the Nyx Assassin as well to pair together with it. So if Army Geniuses go any sort of hero, whether it be like an Ember Spirit that has you know, the Flame Guard up, you just need to Vendetta through, pop your Carapace, and then blink, spear into trees, dead, or any kind of core that has Battle Fury. They're just going to go for the Snapfire, which I think is still fine. Like, you can eventually pair a Mars together with it. What they do need, though, is a really aggressive 3 now. You know, I mentioned in game 1 where if you go this Ogre Magi and the Undying,
remaining.
it's like, it's okay team fight, and it's heroes that you generally want to throw into the front of a team fight, but there's nothing really that does good AoE damage. Snapfire does very good AoE damage, and you're still inherently tanky in yourself, and they pick up a Wisp here. Could we be seeing the 0-2 strat, where it's a 4 Elder Titan, but not really a 4? You know, they pair it together with this Io and become really scary in the laning stage.
Have Army Geniuses played it?
10
Don't think so.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
To pull something out. Would be heroes that teams have to ban. If you are now able to show the prowess of your IO play, then this could just, you know, as the weeks go on, this could really make Army Geniuses a formidable opponent, which they already are at the moment, but just making it so difficult to draft into. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see how they're able to try and fare in this one. And, you know, they've got the potential. Who knows? We've seen IO core a lot. If they're going to run it or not, or if it's still just going to be that support.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've used the 8-point game analogy. Now, you're in Australia. You follow footy, I'm assuming. You know what I'm aware of, right? You know what I'm talking about with that.
Yeah.
Is there a way to convert that to Dota language, like an 8-point game? Like, without just explaining it word for word of, like, these two teams are sitting undefeated. A win for yourself, sure, a win is great, but it's also denying a win away from someone else. And when you're up towards the top, as well as Omega Esports, there's only 2 spots that you're vying for to get promoted through to that upper division. So it means so much. So can you think of anything like in Dota words?
Not Dota way. I always for baseball as well, big baseball fan, and they used it like a magic number. They said the magic number for the team to qualify to the playoffs, it would go up if they'd win, and also if their opponents lost, then it would go up even more. So they kind of spoke about it in a magic number sense in that way, but it's the same. It's just sport. It's sports talk in the end. It's so hard to be able to bring it back. It's the factor in. It feels like you get an extra win almost when you take down someone who is a hot contender. Like it honestly just feels like you get you win. Instead of getting 1 point for a win, you get 2. That's what it feels like.
For sure. I mean, the only magic number that I know is the magic 8 ball, and you know, that's what I use to solve all of my problems. But we're about halfway into the draft. Thanks again for everyone who's been signing up for the raffle. We've already got 19. I mean, who knows? We've got more people since I last checked. We could be above 20. So, you know, if you want to join the likes of Papa Daddy, Inspector with the Spectre, Dota Spectre, very clever, X, Shanks XD, and Mike Oxlong. It's you got to be in it to win it. So yeah, there's a lot of good prizes to be won. Make sure you're betting on the games using the in-game prediction tool. We had a little bit of a skewed result there. I think it was only about 30% of people that went for Cignal, so a good amount of points going towards
10
those
seconds
predictors.
remaining.
And yeah, make sure you're following Aries' channel as well for a free $300 dues, or maybe you should change the points to be called dollary dues instead of
Dollar dues.
yeah, instead of
That's
just
true.
points. But we're seeing a Marana
Sounds a little
pick
bit
up
better
here.
than points.
I don't mind the Marana
Do you-
actually.
I was actually going to say, doesn't the Mirana reveal that the eye is a core now, though? Because I feel like, yes, Mirana's flexibility, it's always there, but no one really plays her to 2. Like, I'd say if you have, like, 100 Mirana games, maybe you get picked as a 290 10 times. 90%, I'd say it's a support.
It's okay. It's one of those cores that's actually able to build into something like a Gleipnir. Whether that's actually good this game is still yet to be seen. It might be really good now against the Nature's Prophet just to be able to, lock him down. But, you know, it could still be the Elder Titan being played in like a position 3 role, let's say. Obviously that would mean that the IO isn't really laning against him, but, with him.
Remaining.
But I think the Mirana's main role in this is just to be able to find out the Snapfire every single time. Like, okay, now it's definitely a position 4 in my eyes. You know, Sand King 3, Mirana 4, very easy setups into those stuns, and you can deal with the Snapfire when these team fights start. Probably going to be an Elder Titan 5, IO 1,
10
or, you know,
seconds remaining.
switch things up. Who knows? You know, they might even put more priority onto this ET, especially
5
considering you're
seconds
against
remaining.
this Nature's Prophet. So lots of units to be able to steal damage off of.
Radiant
I mean, we
team
saw what the IO AT lane could do. It was incredibly strong, and well, there's the Ember now getting picked up. Army Geniuses are lacking a lot of lockdown. I mean, it's just the Burrow Strike to be able to set up for that arrow. So the Ember is going to be a massive issue. And taking a look at this lineup, we are going to have a full all-on-out brawl in the early game. Both teams are just going to go at it.
Yep. Decent amount of lockdown as well for
5
Cignal. You know,
seconds
2 stuns, I guess if you can call
Radiant
Carapace a
team
stun, as well as the Impale. You've got the Snapfire stun. Not quite as reliable, of course, and Ember Spirit to be able to root people in
Dire
place.
team
Same thing
back.
with the Sprout. Yeah, it's just all the cheese being removed right now. No Lycan, no Meepo. Everyone hates Underlord and Huskar now as well.
Radiant team pick.
So what are we looking for? Cignal with their hero for a bot, and Army Geniuses probably looking for their 2 here.
Oh.
Dazzle.
All right, something a little different. I mean, you talk about that early aggression. You've got a Nature's Prophet with you as well. Maybe the Snapfire is going to go for an earlier point into the little Shredder as well. Maybe like level 4 as opposed to level 8, just so that you can get that minus
10
armor and really start putting a lot more pressure onto the towers.
5 seconds remaining.
What's the pick here for Army Geniuses? What do you think they're looking for the carry? Oh, it's probably I. Sorry, they're 2 because they're the IO. Sorry.
Maybe it's a little slow, but if you're able to make space for it, an Invoker isn't terrible. I'm just trying to think of something that's able to build into a Orchid or a Spirit Vessel. I think those are the big things that they really need right now. And, you know, you do eventually have some decent wave clear as well on that Invoker if you're able to get it. Decent lockdown as well. You know, we talk about the Ember Spirit. If you're able to lock him in place, the Cold Snap, sure, you're always able to just, you know, zip away, but it gives you that initial burst as well.
Yeah, see how they want to try and play this. At least, I mean, I'm excited to see how Cignal Ultra can play with this draft though, because it's incredibly fast placed. And what do we think who's the 1? Is it a Furion 1 with a Dazzle 3? More than likely.
Yeah, I would be feeling that a little bit more. I feel like Furion really does need more levels these days, and so you just want to try and secure him that as quickly as possible. Level 20 is really when you hit your peak now on Nature's Prophet, considering they changed around when you get the extra armor and the attack speed. So I think that's going to be quite important for him to get that level of farm.
Trying to see what this last pick can be from them. Like, what are they looking for? I mean, they've got okay ways to deal with the split push on the Furion. To Sand King Moran is not too bad. There they go. They're gonna troll.
Now select your heroes.
Okay. Alright. And yeah, it is. So it is going to be the core IO, as we were assuming. Jamesy, a bot dazzle, huh? All right. Take it away, Cignal.
Ooh.
We'll see what you're able to do with it.
What do you think the item build is then going to be for a dazzle as a position 1? Is it still kind of similar as how you'd play it as a 3, or?
I think so. I think it just means that you obviously put a lot more priority onto getting him that that Necro book. Maybe Van goes for something like a Desolator instead, just to be able to get all of that minus armor out. What I want to know is when he's going to be picking up, or if he's going to be picking up that shard as well. The bad juju, so launching an attack to the 3 closest enemies every time he casts an ability within 1200 range. So if you've got a lot of right click damage, that is it's pretty scary to be able to go up against, especially like when is he going to reach level 15? Probably around that 20-minute mark. So you're going to have the extra attack speed, you're going to have the plus 50 damage talent that you get at level 10. It's a pretty scary prospect for sure.
Yeah, no doubt here. A bit of we get an interesting an IO core dazzle position 1. We get to see Jamesy on an Ember Spirit here, which is always exciting to see. And we're heading into this second game with the draft or set. Is there a team you'd favor? Can Army Geniuses pull back into a game 3, or do you think the series is going to end up ending here?
I think they definitely can. Like that, we saw they had complete control over that game number 1. It was just a couple of poorly taken team fights and some great itemization and skill usage by Cignal Ultra that they were able to pull them back into it. So it really is anyone's game. I just want to see how much emphasis they're putting onto this Elder Titan. You know, you're a position 5. He's not even the position 4 like it was last time with In Your Dream playing it for 0-2. So are they actually going to make him a right-clicking threat, or is it more of just a lane secure paired together with this IO?
Yeah, they're still going to do an immense amount of damage as well, considering if it's going to be the ET, the ET and the Fury on lane. So just the extra treants. You already see they've kind of got out into the lane from the stat fire, so they blocked the small camp, at least taking away one of the camps, so the ET won't be able to get that extra astral damage. And they've got the other water on this bottom power rune here.
I think that's really where, in the previous series that we saw, where the ET was picked up, it's just so important to be able to remove that camp factor, you know. And you know, you've even got the Mirana that you're up against, so just block every single camp that you can right now. That should be the MO for Cignal Ultra.
Do they? So yeah, Nyx has got 2 sentries at the moment. I was gonna see how the Nyx was gonna play with trying to if you're gonna block the camp or not, but we get to see the stat fire, which we haven't seen honestly too much so far throughout the lower divisions. You know, I guess Phoenix isn't getting picked up as much, so we don't see that stat fire to deal with the supernova. But even then, it's kind of just the pick rate's being slightly reduced.
Uproot and after them.
With the Ember up against a troll matchup, going to see how James is going to be able to do in this. Was impressed with his performance on the Mars. This was the kind of the shining spot from Cignal, which helped them, you know, a couple of those fights at big arenas to enable them to come back in. And this is a game where Dai do not have a lot of ways to be able to stun up the Ember. I feel like they're pretty reliant on the Sand King having a blink and then into this arrow combo from Lin, but
you are getting very deep here, my friend. He was already trying to take that team fight when he was on about half HP, so it definitely reduces the impact of being able to, you know, just go in and brawl. You do need a full mana, HP pool to be able to work with.
Yeah, nice, decent chunk of harassment already. The if that sustains, really going to start coming through once they can find the levels, but at least even then, I mean, they can still brawl up here as well. Like the snap fire with the Fury on, once they, you know, you and DB want to start pushing the tempo. Is this what's the timing really actually down bot though? As well, Arrow connects here thanks to Wami's Burrow Strike. They're going to be able to pick up first blood. So but you had a pretty rough laning stage on the Ursa last game, and you see he's already unfortunately going to lose that first life.
I think it's very different this time. Like, Ursa against a Pugner is basically unplayable in lane. This was an issue of just some poor positioning, being picked off. So you're always going to be able to secure something against the Sand King. It's just a matter of how much do you let the Sand King get. On the top side, you can see he's actually gone the point into the Echo Stomp there, which I'm not feeling quite as strongly about. You know, a big part of this strength of being able to just go in and brawl is even just having the 1 point in the natural order super early on, so that you're getting rid of a lot of this this base armor that a lot of these heroes do have.
Prepare for a lesson.
There's so much damage when he's got the Astral. It's actually so stupid. Hopefully, maybe he can get a stack and a pull off. Unfortunately, might even still at least be able to get the pull. That's what you're looking for here. Try and reset the lane, deny some creeps, and Io and Troll both are around the top of the last hits as well. How do you think the Troll needs to itemize this game? Is it just the Ags once again that we've been seeing, or can he go for something like a Battle Fury?
Well, speaking of them, there's a bit of action happening in the mid lane. Are they just both going to die? No.
The evasion.
The evasion, really effective there. Oh, you know what's actually... If the game goes super late, like level 25, which I doubt it will, but if it does, you've actually got a really cool combination here with the Troll Warlord and the Sand King. If the Sand King goes the Sandstorm Slow and Blind, and if you don't have the BKBs, it's actually 100% mischance. It stacks additively, the blinding from the Whirling Axes plus the Sandstorm.
So stupid.
Exactly 100%.
Dire structures are fortified.
Miss. Not much you can really do. See, it's a lot of damage coming through from Troll. It's just the 1 point in the fervor stacks and his movement speed, just constantly being able to right-click him down. But Eris is over with the cookie, finds a connection. This has got that little bit of a blind, but James just still has the chains and slight to be able to play around with here. So nice TP from Eris actually, was able to punish the Troll who was getting a little bit too far pushed up there.
And how many times do you see a Troll Warlord go a bottle? Because I cannot think of the last time that I have. You know, just obviously wanting to spam out those Whirling Axes as much as possible, remove the threat of that Flame Guard, but obviously it's not doing him an amazing amount of good. The arrow, again, connects onto a bot, but he's under the safety of his tower, so he's going to be just fine.
You up top as well, falling low, but it's a double town bot, alright, a bot. And Grimm's very nicely done. Able to find the two aggressive plays here from Army Geniuses, and now that's also right by the bounty, so Grimm's is going to be able to move on through and get a couple of these ones for free.
Now the harass really does start though with the Nature's Prophet. You know, he's got the Blightstone, he's got the Power Treads. Even for something like this Elder Titan, please put 1 point into the natural order. I feel like it's just so important to have if you're trying to go this brawling style. No!
Yeah, I think that's what works so well for when they played it within your dream, and yeah, when 0-2 played it. Like, I was really impressed with that just level pickup early on. It was kind of the difference there.
I mean, he maxed it out on in your dream, which I think is fine. I think you absolutely have to have 1 point though. It just does not make sense to run this without the 1 point in it. Trouble here though, you see this cute little play that they have with the treants pushed up, and then you can utilize that cookie stun. So you does take a decent amount of damage there. Might just make the trip back to base and maybe see if we can get a stack through his movement back there though. We'll have another nice pause. Unfortunately some lag issues, but at the moment it's 3 kills apiece, pretty even. Yeah, and he's the last hits. It's the Io. But he's had to buy up a little bit of regen for himself now that he's got the Helm of Iron Will. Going to be a little bit less of a factor, and getting close to that Helm of the Dominator too. Any good creeps for him to be able to pick up? They've actually, through doing that pull previously on you, they got rid of the hard camp one that they had. It was the Dark Troll Summoner, which would have been quite nice, but not going to be the case anymore. Anything good in the jungle? I guess there's an Alpha Wolf, there's another Dark Troll Summoner, there's a Centaur. You really want that Satyr Tormentor though.
Bot lane, Bommy. Might be under some trouble here if Abat's able to get that extra right click for the poison. So just makes it underneath the tower, but he might still tick out. Tries to eat the Tango for the extra regen, but unfortunately it's not enough. And now Grims as well. Lim's in trouble. Pops the Fairy Fire, is going to end up turning. They missed the arrow, but Grims is still going to end up paying there. So it's a 1-for-1. Almost went for that cute little outplay from the Nyx Assassin, but it looks like Mirana just has got shoulders sturdy there down bot.
He had the Fairy Fire to be able to withstand all of that, so nicely done to be able to bait that up for the Mirana, but I honestly don't think you mind all that much on the Nyx. You've got a Bart now being able to just continue free farming, and he's picked up his level 6 as well with that kill, so the bad juju going to come into the equation. I mean, the thing that I really like about the Dazzle as well, with the core Dazzle especially, is that Shallow Grave 1 point is actually really value. It's just like slightly less duration.
Lim,
nice.
Arrow on point here. They saw kind of the remnant getting chucked down, and Lim's just like, all right, maybe he's going for a TP in that location. Let's just chuck out the arrow. Instant tips coming out as well. So that is now, you see a little bit of damage on the tower, and it's mainly just the Ember down and missing some waves under the tower here.
Yeah, and clearly all the tips coming through from Army Geniuses. If you're listening in, Army Genius manager or social media person, I want to get a video of the voice comms if you were recording that one, because I'm sure it was a lot of yelling and happiness going on in Discord or wherever else they might be having this. Oh,
another arrow
catch him out.
Mark here.
Tip him again.
Not even going to claim it. The arrow so far. Lim 3-1-1, so a lot of impact, and it's already got the urn completed now for the Mirana.
Yeah, nicely done. It's not even a naked urn like a lot of these supports like to do these days. It's one of my favorite items to pick up in the early game, but Boots of Speed obviously making full use out of that roaming potential.
Might have a bit of a brawl breakout down bot though, as Cignal got both their supports, Eris with the TP in. Unfortunately, it looks like they're not going to be able to catch our Army Geniuses guessing here. They're able to recognize that, and well, there we go. So the Troll, he's got the Aghanims queued up, has already had a very good start as well for the mid lane, so we'll see how fast he's able to get the Aghanims to help out through the brawl that's going to start to occur throughout the early game. But bot, back in they go. Wom in trouble, just gets a Burrow Strike, but even then though, the damage that can continue chasing Lim does at least get a return kill with the arrow on the mark once again. So a killing spree for the Mirana, but you do see that the Sand King, that's 3 deaths so far throughout this laning stage.
Lim gets that first point into, first couple of charges into the Urn of Shadows though, so that's going to be really nice for him. Might even enable him to play a little bit more aggressive now that he's the raindrops coming out to him, where a bulk of the damage is coming from Cignal Ultra's side, and probably couldn't have asked for a better item to come from the neutral camps, with Mamang Daya being able to pick up that Possessed Mask. Means that he is actually enabled to go towards the jungle a little bit more. I want to see some stacks start to happen from the rest of his team so that he can eventually transition into that jungling core and give some of the support some space to be able to farm the lane. Yeah,
it'd be nice if the Mirana's rotation from kind of bot to mid, if you're able to link up, maybe get a stack through, like even now before the bounty is top though. Wommy, this rotation with the help of DB, with this Helm Dom picked up, just slows down the Fury, and it's going to be able to bring him down before the TP. Unfortunately, it does stop them from getting the bounty, but it looks like DB wants some revenge. Grim's snagging that one, a thief in the wind here, but unfortunately it looks like he still might be in trouble because the movement speed on this Helm Dom just hunting him down, and once you get that clap, there will be enough there, and it's actually the Snapfire that's going to end up falling to the opposite side.
I think again that was another arrow from Lim. He is Legolas right now, just being able to pick out everyone on his team.
Looks like the whole map kind of converging on mid at the moment. They've got the positioning where Jamesy had the Remnant, but Iron not having any control, and I mean, Wommy's not really going to be able to help out too much. Only 2 points in the Burrow Strike there, so the cast range a little bit too short.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But he's got his Midas. He's going to be about to reach level 10 in one more creep. I think that could be when they try and make an aggressive movement here. Oh, just misses out with a stun though onto the Troll Warlord. And he's got the regen rune as well, so he's going to be able to rejoin immediately.
They want to try and use this at least level 6 potential here, but I mean, the Mortimer Kiss is on cooldown, and yeah, nice Echo Stomp. He's even going to chuck the ultimate.
Yeah, I think it's just a zoning one.
Yeah. push it back, let us retreat for a little bit, get on our side of the map.
Maybe could have put it a bit more into the trees to the right of the tier 1 tower, just so that you are preventing any kind of, you know, TP rotations, backstabs from surprising you. Yeah, you can just see now the Troll Warlord able to sit in the jungle with that Possessed Mask. He really doesn't care all that much. You know, he was even transferred over another Tango by his team. So some good support coming out here. Just need to see some more stacks. Where are the stacks?
Support, give me tangos, but where the hell are you stacks at?
Radiant's
It's one of
bottom
the
tower is under attack.
things to enable me, brothers. Come on, I just need the farm. We see a Bat's getting a lot of it at the moment. That early Midas has already got the Gleipnir queued up as well, but the river fight might break out here as Echo Storm sets up now for the arrow, and now instantly with a relocate, can they bring down the Ember throughout the stun duration? They can do so successfully, and now they'll turn their attention to Eris chasing up the high ground. They go one after another. DB claims it with the clap there, and well, Army Genius is now having the numbers around mid, should be able to take this tier 1 tower. Radiant do have Glyph, they're gonna pop it, but we're yet to see the Furion with the rotation just yet. Is this maybe Cignal aren't playing as fast as you were expecting?
Radiant's middle tower
I think maybe they're just waiting for the Maelstrom to be completed up by a Bard. I say that as he makes his TP through to the mid lane. He's got the one value point in the Shadow Grave.
They're gonna be careful how deep they continue diving here as well. Troll gets a battle trance up, but now with the Mortal Kiss in the backline, they don't have a way to be able to cancel that. But look at the damage tool coming out. As long as Troll has that ultimate, he's gonna be able to continue moving on forward. DB flying in as well, but the tether held with the regen's not enough. Troll will drop, but they've still been able to find 3 kills here, and they're hunting for more. Can the arrow be on point? It's not. But sidesteps it. James is still in the river. He's got a couple of remnants to be able to utilize. Got to be careful because it's only one, and now the Echo Stomp actually sets up for now the burrow, waiting for as long as possible so the rest of the team can burst him down, and they do so successfully. So Jamesy in the pause as well afterwards.
That's what it was. It was the packet loss. It wasn't the mispositioning, but I don't know. From Cignal's side, I thought that was a little preemptive. You know, you've picked up the javelin. Sure, you're going to be able to do some decent right-click damage with that, I suppose. But he just TP'd right into the middle of that fight, and I just don't think you can do that against an Elder Titan and a Sand King who have been pretty on points with their stuns and their stomps so far. He does have the 1 point in the natural order. Okay, I can rest easy. We're good, we're good. But yeah, still, just a little bit short even on the Orchid, on the Nature's Prophet. I think, like, that tower went down regardless, right? So I would have just waited the extra 2 minutes, you know, secure a couple of bounty runes for yourself. That would have been the timings where you can play around the Mithril Hammer being picked up by the Dazzle, the Orchid for the Nature's Prophet. He would have even had the at least the Javelin here on the Ember Spirit. So a lot more stuff to be able to deal with and team fight, and it just feels like they're, you know, definitely lacking in their coordination around that.
Yeah, it was a big issue where that tower feels like it's already going to fall, and now you bring the fight to them. You lose, your tower's already going to die. Now you lose an extra couple of heroes, and now it just means Army Geniuses can now start running into the jungle and trying to find this Dazzle, who's, you know, been sitting through there at the moment, not really wanting to try and offer and join in fights. And Ira's even got the that level 10 talent and is very farmed as well, close to the Aghanim's. Already has 2 components with 1,300 gold in the bank.
Yeah, doing real well. I think the way that Cignal Ultra ideally they want the team fights to go is, you know, you start off the team fight, you use the Ember Spirit to, you know, get the initial pick-off happening. Even if you don't get a kill, you just want to bait the rest of the team in. Then you use the Poison Touch, and then even if they retreat, you want to be taking a team fight close enough to a tower that you can still take an objective, regardless of how the initial pick-off attempt goes. So, just by playing it a bit more on the defensive, it feels like you're going a lot further away from that. They've finished up the Orchid now, though, on the Nature's Prophet. He's going to be able to TP through to wherever he wants. He's actually going right into the trees on top of Lim.
Oh, Lim trying to jump everywhere, but unfortunately they're able to find him, trying to cut through the trees. Van is a great way to deal with that, thanks to the Nature's Call. So you see instantly, Van pops the Orchid, jumps in forward, and I was going to say that they haven't been able to find any towers too early on, but it looks like finally they're going to be able to claim one 15 minutes in.
I mean, that's the difference, right? Like, you just saw exactly what happened. I don't know what Grims was stunning there, but the Ember Spirit?
It was the TP that just missed out there from the ET.
Never
But yeah,
reveals
now
who
you've got Maelstrom. You're getting very close to Maelstrom as well onto this Ember Spirit. I think if you did want to wait for that, that's fine. If they wanted to go straight away with the Orchid and Dazzle's Maelstrom, totally cool as well. Ooh, they found out here. It's the Sand King, but a nice stomp coming through. Not going to be enough
Orchid
though.
ups. Yeah, subs the Burrow Strike away, but it's going to be a nice AT ultimate.
You don't have
Although
the
where's
Troll
the
and the
rest of
Mirana,
them?
yeah.
See, James, not being able to find a Searing Chains connection is going to allow Army Geniuses to be able to reset. So they do lose the Sand King. Was very close to the Blinks. Actually has it completed, so never mind. Was able to pick that one up before the death, which is going to feel nice if Army Geniuses want to maybe smoke up and make something happen, because it looks like they've got the Aghanims along completed with the Troll and the Io. So this could be go time here for Army Geniuses with their item advantage now.
Yeah, going to be really important going up against the Troll as well as the Dazzle, just to be able to get rid of the Poison Touch and the Searing Chains. So I think it just puts even more emphasis onto Van to be able to get the early portion of that off. The Orchid, just to prevent a lot of those Whirling Axes from coming out there. But there's a lot of targets that are really value for the silences, so it's just a matter of what does he choose.
Yeah, nice little sidestep there from Grims. They still get the slow of this Arcane Rune along with the Aghanims, man. You see just the constant spam of the Whirling Axes is so annoying. There's not much you can do about it, and they at least get the Nyx Assassin. They missed out on the kill on the Ember, and it is still giving space now for Radiant. You see Van and a Bat pushing and bot with the catapults. This should be able to at least force them to come down here, and even with the relocate, I is going to be able to, but do they have the damage to actually go through at the moment? It's going to be careful. Troll's going to take in, but the damage is in trouble, and the Orchid's going to tick him out. Going to try and get a return kill. Troll not getting any roots at the moment. Now some extra reinforcements coming out, but it looks like they're just going to try and stand his ground and man fight. Great from a bar. Nice Van as well, utilized with the Sprout there. Is able to at least give him some space for the Dazzle, but the battle trans to the last second. Van's Orchid's a little bit too late with the downtime, and he's also going to end up paying the price as well. There's Army Geniuses. You lose the Io, but you also get an extra kill across the bat with the stat fire falling mid.
And he's gone for the Axe. I like that item build. I just feel like you're not really doing much of anything until that point. You know, his item build seems kind of all over the place. The Ring of Protection, the Fluffy Hat, small items that do give a decent amount of value, but it just doesn't feel all that impactful. Grimsy's in position to try and make something happen here onto Mamang Daya. They've got a couple of seconds left of that Vendetta, trying to get kill happening, but where's the rest of the team? I'm not seeing it.
James, he runs away from the neutral camp though, so they're going to be able to find the Searing Chains connection. But Dara coming over now with the
Still alive.
He finds two, he's still up. Finally, the snipe from James is able to claim it, but he'll pay the price for his Army Genius to lose the chop once again. They punish Cignal Ultra, and just time and time again, seeing Dyer come ahead in the trade.
You have to have Dazzle at these team fights. It's plain and simple. He needs to be at every single one of those attempts because he just provides so much. He provides the survivability, he provides the bad juju, so you can take someone down a little bit quicker. And then if worse comes to worse, now he's got a few more points into that shallow grave. You know, the cast range is really nice, but it just feels a little bit disconnected. Getting close to that Rod of Atos though, which will help him out a little bit.
Is it an issue that Cignal Ultra aren't playing around the Dazzle because of how immobile he is at the moment? Do you think they should group up with him instead of going for these pickoffs?
Well, they just went for that attempt when he wasn't even alive. Like, he was still waiting to respawn, and so I do think they need to rally around him a little bit more, because you've always got the Nature's Prophet that you can just TP in onto anyone. He's gone the Witchblade as well, by the way, so another slow on their side to add on to the Poison Touch, even the mini slow coming from the Scatterblast. A little bit surprised that they didn't, like I mentioned before, put the 1 point into the Little Shredder. Just, again, the burst potential, the minus armor. You've already got the Blightstone, you've already got the bad juju, then you would have the minus armor coming from the Little Shredder. Just makes taking towers, taking kill attempts, and even Roshan much more of a serious prospect.
Yeah, just that extra value point, and exactly like you said, it just gives you a lot more opportunities to be able to take it. I think you can't overlook at all. It will give you at least now a threat of being able to walk in Roche.
The gang squad is down. B and Lim. Like, can we get something done onto Jamesy? He's sitting on the side of this tower.
Then get rid of the creeps. Oh, it's a little bit too late. But Jamesy just
run away.
make space remnants though. Meanwhile, they do find the ET across the map, and James is going to be fine.
I attempt, but I'm not intentional or not, but some good positioning there by the Embers to be on the other side of the creep wave,
The prize is
making it
mine.
a lot more difficult to get that arrow stun through. Well, here comes that smoke. Now strip completed. Yeah,
Radiant
I was about-
are scanning.
they can't go. Oops, we've got a pretty horrible Roche taking lineup if it's just like a naked Roche attempt, I'd like to call it. You know, you need to get at least one off beforehand. You got balls flying around. So DB, he spotted out. He just popped
Nice
really.
time the lock sets up for the Mortimer Kisses.
Troll's
Even
gonna
Troll's
commit.
stepping in, but it looked dire. They're trying to answer the
Well,
question here, but the team breaking up with the
What an
Epic.
arrow.
Going to be able to bring down Ember, the arrow from downtown from Lim. Once again, the Archer's on the mark. Even Furion's going to get caught off to the northern side of the fight here, so Army Geniuses will get back, finding 2 heroes from Cignal Ultra, but they want more blood as well, as Trolls move incredibly fast, especially with that extra movement speed coming through from the neutral line. And with the bull whip, they're going to walk up the high ground, even dropping the Earth Splitter. Bad. Is he going to find the connection? No, won't get dragged back. Nick's just trying to be that bodyguard. They even find Kip and still continuing on for more. Unfortunately, the Dazzle just wasn't able to retreat away with a sacrificial lamb from the Nyx Assassin.
Oh, just hover over, like, click on the Dazzle right now. Hover over the Midas. Agonizingly close to that Wall Assassin just to be able to get the value out of it. I was like, oh, will he be able to get it off? But no, the root locking him in place. And is Roshard now a possibility for Army Geniuses? I feel like it might be. You've got a Troll on your side, and yeah, the impact of having that Ag Scepter, not just for the defensive dispel, but able to get a lot done onto the Radiant side as well.
Yeah, look at him go to work. I mean, Radiant still down with the Dazzle for 15 seconds. They're trying to come over and scout it out, but Wami's in a very good spot. Just this high ground kind of power play from the Sand King in case the rest of Radiant come over and try and position aggressively. So Army Geniuses, after a fight like that, can be able to take the first rush of the game.
Dire's middle tower.
Just getting the stun off onto the Nyx, pressuring him out a little bit here. If you had to give MVP, it has to be Lim right now. All of his arrows have been on point, only finding himself out of position a couple of times. Like 9, 2, and 13 in a 23-minute game. It is nuts.
Troll's going to be careful, actually. Doesn't have the rest of the team. They're finally coming over now, but the stun wasn't there. Ember wasn't able to find the chains. I guess that's the perfect help thanks to the Troll Warlord Ags, and now they're forced to all TP out. Yeah, this is the thing that they've been utilizing so far this game. The chains from Jamesy to sit up for the kisses, but apart from that, and if the Nyx isn't there, then it's really difficult.
They just missed out finding him with the Astral Spirit there, so he's still sitting inside these trees, Jamesy. Has to be a little bit careful. Oh, they know he's there now. Wami, he's got the Blink Dagger.
That's a TP just straight in the face, so Wami cancels it. James, he just got all his mana used as well now, so he's in trouble. Pops the one going up to the northern side,
nice
but the
Earth Splitter.
perfect placement in that Earth Splitter. You just predicting the positioning from the Jamesy Ember, and well, it's just a little bit too cute of an attempt, and they're gonna punish him.
Wonder if that'll even result in a tower. You know, you've got a lot of pressure now with this Troll Warlord being able to push out this bot side. Almost reaching up into that level 20 as well, and none of these heroes are really natural MKB builders, so I wonder if he might even go for the evasion as opposed to the plus damage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah, he will.
attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Just gonna further make it so difficult for Radiant to deal the damage they need to be able to kill the Troll. Seeing he's been pretty healthy this game. Another kill though, Wami not even having to pop the epi for that one with the help of Lim. This kind of combo, and it's such a strong one when you've got a point target stun to set up for the skill shot, and they're trying to link on mid as well with the Ire and the Troll.
Man, I only just realized, look at Jamesy's net worth. It is the same as this position for Mirana. It is not looking great. I suppose that's what happens when you've been involved in 5 kills versus, what, 24 out of 28?
Radiant's middle tower
This Mirana's been enormous. You often see those position for Miranas in your pubs, and you're like, man, he's just not doing anything. You cannot say the same for Lim.
Now, when you've got a position 4 like that who can play the Mirana at this extent, feels like the arrows you know, more than likely we're honestly expecting Lim's arrows to hit the mark with how an incredible game 2 they've had, and this also helps to the setup and the draft they put around the Mirana with this Sand King really enables you, and you still have to give some props where it's due, and Lim definitely deserves that, and so do Army Geniuses. But you got to keep in mind, Cignal Ultra, they did come back in that game 1. You know, early game wasn't looking good for them, but the only issue is it feels like, do you have a real way to be able to win as the game goes later on with the Dazzle position 1?
It's gonna be rough, I'll say that much. Oh, who have they found out here? It was a very quick escape attempt there. Level was not able to pick them up. I feel like the late game potential for Army Geniuses is just much stronger, especially like I mentioned before, if it does get to that level 25 on the Sand King for the 100% blind that can come through. Always going to be a big factor.
Well, here's the Roman duo once again looking for a pick-off. They're just going to be able to cancel the outpost. Control, easy setup, easy kill, unstoppable now for the Sand King. There's a couple of items getting picked up as well. And we see the Lotus Orb for the Sand King. Troll, he's just got the Kaya and the Sunge completed as well.
That's really nice, having the Lotus Orb, just to be able to... the #1 priority for that is the Orchid Silence. They're gonna see that they've got some sort of vision in the area, so Lim, I think he just placed a sentry previously, but well, got a gem though. Bit surprised that they didn't get rid of that vision. And
they don't have everyone right now, Farming Geniuses. Yeah, they've got to be kind of careful. See, they're backing off, trying to reset, but Fury might be in trouble. Cookie's going to give him some better positioning out of the Earth Splitter. Looks like the Furon might be trying to cut this next wave as well, potentially.
I'm liking this from Army Geniuses though. Now they're just taking away the Tricamp from the Radiant, getting their tier 3 neutral items. It's always going to be a factor just to try and choke them out as much as possible. It really is only Jamesy that can leave the base right now.
Yeah. Feels like Army Geniuses, when they get ahead after the laning stage, they have a very good understanding of how they need to be able to play the lineup to be able to just minimize how much net worth and what the enemy team can get out of the map. But it showed in game 1, it's showing in this second game as well. And
Van was actually just forced to pop his 10-second BKB just to avoid, again, the roaming gank squad coming through. Wami was able to pick him off. They'll see this TP coming through towards the mid lane, so they know that the rest of the team is following up there, but they don't care. They just be like, you know what, divide and conquer.
Conquer indeed, as DB finds another kill. Does pop his own 10-second BKB as well for finding the Nyx assassin there, but moves 590 movement speed. So fast is the IO. And
I mean, he's got the Kobold Foreman, the cup guy.
You see the tether's glitching how fast he's moving at the moment. Can't even keep up. Up they go. I mean, Radiant just feels like, how do you start a fight? You don't really have the ease of initiation like Dire do with this Sand King, and it's kind of showing throughout how aggressive Army Geniuses have been able to position themselves. And you've got Io in the back, Sand King can counter initiate, sitting in the front line. He's taking a lot of damage, but you even just give him the Lotus Orb as well and look at him go to work on the towers here.
Van gets sprouted himself.
Sprouted up. He might be in trouble. The arrow almost eats it, but once again, the Cookie displacement gives him some better positioning, and they're going to reset, but that tier 3 is taking an immense amount of beating mid.
Yeah, now you've got your BKB though on the Ember Spirit and level 18, so he's got some good burst damage to potentially be able to go through.
With that slight vision advantage now on the high negative. Careful, because Dazzle's up on the front line here. Look at the damage coming through. Can he get the grave off? No, the AT ultimate is going to be able to bring him down. Van, along with James, he has to pop the BKB, but look at the rest of Army Geniuses. They're pushing forward. They recognize their advantage right now through this fight. That is a 1-for-1 though. Dazzle for the Sand King. They're going to double back, try and deal with the racks here. And Radiant popping those BKBs. It's really going to hurt how they can contest and defend this barracks mid now.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive positioning coming through there from Abada and his Dazzle. It just means they're able to pick him off super early on into the team fight, and you know, a heal doesn't even save you anymore because you've got 8 Spirit Vessel charges on this Mirana. He's always just going to be able to layer those on top of you. I don't think we've actually seen the gobble up happen just yet. You know, Eris was able to get the Mortimer's Kisses off and clean up the Sand King on the back end of that, but Now, it's a big item to be able to finish up, but haven't yet to see a use from it, despite the fact that he now is sitting on 900 gold.
Feels like it's a little bit more difficult of like an Aghanims game for the Snapfire. Like there's not as many targets I feel you can eat up and chuck in. Nyx is probably, I'd say, the best.
Even just
Ember,
a proper treant, you know?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
You just need the initial, like I was mentioning before, you know, you need to be able to start the fight so that they're running away from you. Oh, Do they have vision? They've got 2 sentries.
It's interesting pause. I mean, Radiant have a lot of information though. They see DB coming over. Do they have vision of Lim? Yeah, they see Lim as well. So they've got all the intel, but can they get there? James is going to be fine. I don't think they kill him because the catapult positioning, so there won't be an arrow follow-up, and Grims can definitely block it as well, but can the rest of the team get there? Do they just dip, or do they take this engagement? Let's see. Jamesy going to try and look to turn. Spike Carapace finds a connection. Van on top of the back line as well. Nice amount of damage getting dished out here at the start of the fight. Wombi might pay the price, but he gets a nice amount of health back, and still praise the price as Jamesy. He's going to try and TP up, with the BKB already used his AOK.
I think you're generally okay with, you know, losing one of your heroes for yet another usage of that Black King bar. Like we were mentioning before, you know, once those BKBs are super low, you will be reaching that level 25 on the Sand King if it does look to get that late. And yeah, you need to be so selective about when you actually are using that, because otherwise you're just going to be doing 0 damage in these team fights. And even the heart now picked up by the IO.
Jeez.
What's he going next? Is that just some regen, or is he actually going for the Necro Book, you reckon?
Who's this for? IO?
Yeah, he's got 2 Sage's masks.
He had that before. I have to imagine it was just for the early game. A little bit of mana regen. I don't think you'll build it into something later on.
Maybe. Oh, if he was to build it into anything, maybe it's an Orchid and then eventually a Bloodthorn, just for some more pure burst damage. It's always nice. The True Strike as well can be really good if they were opting to go for any kind of, you know, evasion plays on Cignal's side. They're just
That's on
running
the front line. They're going to try and deal with the supports first. The ET stops a lot of the damage here, and they're going to be able to bring him down. The instant buyback with the counter initiation. They're on top of the backline. Troll's doing a very good job of forcing the Dazzle out of the fight. Meanwhile, with the rest of the calls from Cignal, Ultra Van's going to pay the price. James is able to deal with the Limb, but he's in trouble with the Bar Track on the mark after the BKB. Finally, we see the Gobble Up used, but it's to no avail. Cignal Ultra just lacking the damage, and it's showing as well with the items that Army Geniuses has. The double heart on these cores, just trying to do whatever they can to tank up to minimize the damage output that Cignal can dish out.
It's one of the ways, like, you can... they could probably afford to build a little bit more armor on the Army Geniuses side, just because they do have a decent amount of minus armor right now, but, you know, pure HP is pretty damn effective as well, you know, just having the Heart of Tarask, the Eternal Shroud, so Troll's not dying anytime soon, especially if he does pick up this Aegis, which you would assume, just giving the cheese over to the IO.
It's a 98% win probability at the moment. This game is continuing to look incredibly grim here for Cignal Ultra, and do they just... is this where you just have to hope the Ember and the Furon can kind of kite this Aegis? Because it hasn't looked like this game they've been able to go head-to-head versus Army Genius in the team fight.
I mean, again, though, it's a question of you're cutting the Aegis, but it's probably going to be at the cost of another BKB charge. Both Van and Jamesy were forced to pop theirs just then. James is down to 7 seconds. Van's is down to 6. It's not looking good. Like, you give up your mega kill streak on Lim to make it happen, but I don't really think he's caring all that much. I think they lost the gem too, but yeah, small loss.
Oh yeah, Woman's got the gem right now.
Oh yeah, nice. So they got it back.
It just feels like Cignal Ultra weren't able to hit that power spike they were looking for with this lineup, and now it just hasn't been able to kind of come together as a team. And Army Geniuses, it's all coming together for them as they're up the high ground. Troll's got the Aegis, 3,800 HP pool. You even got an IO with 3,600 HP pool with the cheese as well. And well, Van's gonna have to come back. They need to offer some defense with the tier 3 already down. The barracks are soon to fall as well.
He's going for that MKB, but yeah, just a little bit short of it. It's kind of a similar situation to the
There we go.
fight last
Carafus.
game.
One of the kisses, but instantly Wom is going to be able to cancel that one. He has committed now inside the tree line, but he's still got the force to reposition. They're going to continue to move on forward. Lotus Orb up on the control wall. They just can't do anything. Look how aggressive they're able to play, trying to dive even deeper. With the buyback coming through, Eris is going to force them back at least, but Wommy can still counter up if they push far. His position now on the western tree line. It's a nice spot to find the jump. 2 full sets of racks advantage now for Army Geniuses. They're trying to link down to the bottom side. MKB, this feels like it's do or die right now. Is this MKB enough from Van? They need to try something. Gobbler. Maybe, but Wommy, no perfect timing as well. They found a Dazzle and the next assassin instantly brought down. Jamesy pops a BKB, but we just haven't seen the Dazzle do anything. Instantly a bat drops for Jeeves as soon as he falls into the disconnect. Dazzle is not happy with how this game 2 went, and Army Genius is hit back.
Oh, that's the classic C combo. The GG into the DC. It is, you know, a tale as old as time. And this time around, Army Geniuses, they realized the strengths. They were like, okay, we've had a fantastic early game again. But this time around, we're just going to play it a little smarter. You know, take our team fights in areas that suit us, have our...
Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away.
Infinite power, infinite power, infinite power, infinite power, infinite power, infinite power. Infinite power. infinite power, 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 power. Infinite power.
Can you hear, can you hear, can you hear my voice? Coming through, coming through, coming through the noise. I'm floating through outer space. I'm lost and I can't find a way. Oh, all the lights going dark and my hopes destroyed. Help me. Is anybody there? Save me. I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. It's so dark out here in space. And it's been so long since I've seen a face. My eyes are shut but I can see the void between you and me. And I feel like I'm going insane. Help me. Is anybody there? Save me. I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Far from the sun, beyond stars, I hear their song. They're coming closer, talking without sound, calling me home. Calling out
Radiant
Mayday.
team back. Dire team back. Radiant team back.
Calling out Mayday.
Dire team back.
Save me. I'm running out of air. I'm running out of air. I'm running.
Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
League's assassin.
Radiant team pick.
Elder Titan.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
With their items, it was a lot of wasted gold. Like, if you ever match up against me in a pub, the biggest thing that I will say to you is, what are you actually trying to do with the items that you have? Like, my biggest gripe is seeing someone like go a Slark and go a Shadowblade and then go back and jungle. It's like, why? Shadowblade does nothing for that, you know? Same sort of thing with a Blink Dagger on a Slardar. You need to get kills if you itemize to get kills. If you want to farm, buy your farming items, and that's totally fine. But yeah, it just didn't feel like that. They essentially wasted 4.2k gold on this Snapfire because I think I only saw him use Gobble Up like 2, maybe 3 times, and that was when they were basically in their fountain.
So far this is absolutely identical. Bans, picks, everything is the same. I guess the only difference is Cignal Ultra banned the Meepo before they banned the Lycan. In this game, it was the other way around. So if we're gonna be really tedious, do they go back for the Mirana here from Army Geniuses? Like, Lim just played it to an exceptional level. Do you think they'll go back for it?
Something just tells me it's going to be Mirana and then Nature's Prophet. I mean, I just got a feeling, you know.
When you lose a game like that, where it felt like you weren't. Where it felt like you didn't really ever have a foothold, are you okay with them then just straight going back for the next Snapfire and not swapping it up?
I just feel like they need to coordinate a whole lot better. Like, even going back to that first big team fight that they took, they had no items, period. Like, they were 500 gold away from Orchid and Maelstrom for their first big team fight. Yep. Why not just finish them? It's again just some team fight selection. Oh, 50% right. Let's go. Nature's Prophet.
Dire team pick.
Nice.
I like the Batrider actually over this. It's just stronger. Again, there's still some flexibility with it all, that it can be mid, it can be off lane.
It's a really good pick here, honestly. Like, you've got both your supports picked up from Army Geniuses, and they've kind of put themselves in a hole where the Ira is a core. I guess, what do you put?
5 seconds remaining.
Even if you play the Mirana as a 2, like, it doesn't... What, so you play Mirana 2, you go Ira, ET as your support, then maybe you can go for a safe lane that can deal with the Batrider. Regardless, though, one of the best ways to deal with Bat, in the lane, you've got an Oracle, Abaddon, etc., some way to be able to get out of the sticky napalm, and then also a hard counter to the lasso in the game. But Army Genius is kind of, you know, they've shown their hand here. It's an Ira core with the Mirana ET support duo, so I like the Bat getting picked up here. I am worried, though, if it's a Bat mid, I've seen it do very well. I've seen Jamesy play it well, but if you play it poorly, then it can feel like it just falls. It completely gets run over.
I want to see a Legion commander come out right now from Army Geniuses. You know, it's pretty decent in the laning stage. It gets some good lockdown. Bam! There we go, baby. Great lockdown for the Mirana. You've got a heal for the IO as well, and you know you can just get rid of the sticky napalm, and it's a bit of a block pick against what Cignal Ultra really like to run with Vance. So I think it was just the perfect pick overall.
10 seconds remaining.
And especially, it's also nice because you need some stun to set up for the Mortimer Kisses, and now the Legion just takes that out of effect. You know, Snapfire, we've seen time and time again, unless you have that, people just juke the ultimate. So
even the Earth Splitter,
love the
to be honest, right?
Yeah.
And now, unless they're picking their position 1 right now, which you know very much could be the possibility, you just need something that is actually able to contest against the LC. You know, it either needs to be a range core or it needs to be Ursa, and you know that's about it.
Banned out a lot of cores here already. We did see the Ursa have a very good game 1 from a bat. Well, the laning stage was a bit rough, but come back and take that game. So we'll see what route they want to go into next. And I guess an Ursa with the Snapfire 5 can be a pretty aggressive lane. The Snapfire, just the cookie pressure.
Monkey.
They go Monkey, so it's still kind of similar route where you're a nice lane dominating hero. And we've seen Monkey's been flexed pretty heavily so far and played a lot mid.
What's the actual time on the Snapstone? Is it 2 seconds? The
I'm not sure.
I think it's like
2.2?
Something like that. I want to say it's 1.5, just off the top of my head. It doesn't actually say in the skill description, but
Okay.
I'm just trying to think, like, is that one of those things where you can use Snapfire, gobble up, spit in the Monkey King, and then have him just get his Wukongs off right in the middle of a team fight? That's often his biggest issue, you know, is just finding the perfect position for all of that, and then, you know, Batrider can just control. The other thing that one of my favorite things to do is just find these little niche interactions that could be a possibility. What if the Batrider goes the Ags, like does the lasso, you gobble him up and you spit him back? Surely that just breaks the lasso, right?
Yeah, it would. I have to imagine.
Yeah.
Radiant team back.
I'd be so nuts if it didn't. Just toss him back stupidly distance. Just shoot him opposite side of the map.
They could even just use it for a mega save, right? If he goes the Axe Shard so that he can save teammates. So you drag Monkey King back a little bit where he looks like he's about to die, then Snap gobbles him up and spits him all the way back. So it's like, you know, saving Private Ryan, basically.
5 seconds remaining.
But, just a couple of bands left to go. They're just going to go more into let's remove the cheese from Cignal Ultra's side. Meepo, Underlord, Lycan, Huskar, gone. Even the Ricky and the Timbersaw. This is just like, what's the most annoying to play against?
For Army Geniuses, I think you're gonna have to pick up someone who can lane burst the Batrider if the Bat is put mid. Because Army Geniuses have this flexibility potential where I don't think IR ET wants to lane into the Batrider, and you also want to dodge the Legion Monkey King lane. So they'll probably, Army will try and get the Legion in the Bat lane, or they'll also try and go for an overall last pick where you have someone who can play into the Batrider mid. They still ban the Troll from Cignal. It's not a good matchup versus the Bat at all.
10 seconds remaining.
See, I was initially thinking from
5 seconds remaining.
Army Genius's side, look, maybe they want to pick up a Storm for themselves, but they've actually gone ahead and banned that out. So that's why this Batrider is a really nice pick coming through from Cignal, because, you know, you're not really caring all that much about the sticky napalm, because it's just going to give you a lot of one charges. You'll be able to spam out that static remnant and keep the wave pushed in. So you're never really going to be susceptible to any kind of dives or ganks. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe like a Void Spirit, but it just feels like that the cooldowns are way too long, that he's always going to be in a kind of vulnerable position. So
How does Cignal want to try and play this?
Oh, they could, what if they played Pugna? It wouldn't be horrible against the Batrider. So they pick up the Void Spirit themselves. I kind of want to see the Pugna. You know, if you're spamming out these sticky napalms, then, you know, if you just put up a Nether Ward, you're like, well, shit, you know, I'm all of my mana's going away.
10 seconds remaining.
Gives them some extra push, which is always good.
Are you
5 seconds remaining.
Are you worried that they don't really have an IRO tether target though? Like I know this is more like an IRO core, but it still feels nice where you've got a position 2 that can play pretty aggressively and really utilize that. They actually go into the Morphling, okay.
Okay, it's fine. You're going to be able to get some decent levels as well. Like, yes, you've got a couple of stuns on your supports, but it's not really something that you can sneak up on the enemy team. I think we're probably going to see, rather than the ward just being placed like super on the enemy high ground, it'll be a bit more of a defensive ward that Army Geniuses place in that mid lane. Maybe even on one of the high grounds, to be perfectly honest. So, I don't know, feels like anyone's game. I mean, it's been some pretty high quality Dota from both sides. A bit of a tale of two stories though, with how the mid to late games have gone. Complete domination from Army Geniuses in game number 2. Really strong early games across both of them. So, I mean, you gotta feel favorable towards them. You know, they've on the first 3 picks that were enabled them to win game number 2. I feel like the Legion Commander is a fantastic pick here, and the Morphling, he's going to have a decent time into this mid lane, but it's going to be actually the off lane Batrider as well, and Void Spirit mid.
I think, well, let's see how they're going to try and set up the lanes. So I feel like it's super important where the Legion's going if they put the Legion Commander versus the Batrider. Because if it's how it's going to be set up, it's going to be what, Legion versus Monkey, then you've got an IRO ET going versus a Batrider, which doesn't feel very strong at all. So I feel like Army Geniuses, if they can get the lane set up correctly, then it's going to further help out with how they can head into it. I'm a bit worried that Cignal, though, throughout the early to mid game, their damage, you know, can Lim have another super dominant performance on the Mirana? Like it's going to be as easy of a game for Lim though, because you don't have this guarantee. Yeah, like it's without the Sand King was like a very big factor on how the Mirana could play. Yes, you've got the duel, but it's longer cooldown. You don't get it. Of course, you get it at level 6 as well, so you're not going to have this 1-2 combo in the lane. So
They have 0 reliable stuns on Army Geniuses. Yep. Is basically the way to say this, right? Versus, look how much lockdown they have on Cignal's side. Every single hero has at least one form of lockdown, which is pretty nuts to try and deal with, especially when you've got something like a Morphling that can get caught out farming in full agi.
Let me see. It was super important, I think, how you need to get set up here. Well, at least Lim gets a nice easy D ward. James is trying to get rid of it. I'm surprised they're not instantly coming over with a sentry, because James is well aware that Mirana saw it. So now they might even place a sentry and just go to waste. Looks like he might have just seen the ward kind of getting destroyed, jumping on the ground, flopping through.
All the pings coming through as well. He's like, well, you put a ward down, I'll just... It feels naked without a ward there, so I'll just place mine.
Wouldn't be this series without a pause.
Of course. The game is in beta.
That is true.
It happens. Oof. Lots of reconnects.
Alright, so did we get a prediction from you? Any? Well, let's see. Game 3. Who are we feeling? We're going the distance here. Both teams are undefeated, and you know we've been constantly bringing up the that 8 points or the magic number. It's an important series for both teams. These are going to be some contenders for potentially qualifying to the upper division from the remaining weeks here. So who are you feeling in this third game?
Just because of how much lockdown they have, I'm going to say Cignal, but Army Geniuses have looked really strong in the early game. I just don't see it being quite as dominant of a laning stage, though, without that guaranteed setup for the arrow stun. I look on the top side with DB. Like, look at his little companion cube shadow down there, and what's with that little actual wisp below him? Do you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. Now it's just back inside him. I don't know. Interesting. He's gone for a bit of a different build this game as well. Last game he had the Crown and the Quelling Blade, a little bit more stats early on. I guess with the Batrider going to help out. You see even the stick as well.
Yeah. Totally understandable. And as well, it just allows you to be enabling you a little bit more as well. Like, I feel like this game, Echo Stomp is totally fine, right? Because he's always going to be trying to put himself in a position to be harassing you up on this Batrider. You know, get those creeps pushed underneath the tower, and just let your Firefly and all that do the work. Don't actually right-click anyone until you're going for the kill to make sure that you know, the tower doesn't aggro in onto you.
Get a lane here where it's going to be a Snapfire and a Monkey King, so already going to be a super aggressive lane. See how Wommy is going to be able to play this position-wise. You see, you know, he's already got the brown boots and the windlace queued up. So it looks like for Wommy just trying to play the spacing game, creating the distance. Maybe we might even see some pulls coming through from Lim just to try and secure some couple free waves here. But I think at least for a Bat, you know, the past 2 games he has struggled throughout the lane. I think this one's going to go much better for him. But mid, we once again get to see the Morphling played in this matchup. It's going to be up against the Void Spirit this time instead of where Jamesy was playing the Mars. Is this where once again we kind of just see the Morphling level 1, level 2? You're not going to farm as much them once you get kind of to the later stages around that level 4 and 5. Be able to get some extra more CS. Is that how it's kind of going to go mid versus Jamesy?
Yeah, I think Jamesy's going to have a much better time early on. This is one of those lineups where, you know, you don't need to max out the dissimulate. You don't need to keep the wave spammed forward, so you can at least put, you know, the 1 point into the Aether Remnant, so that if the supports decide to rotate through, let's say at the 4-minute mark, there is some solid kill potential there. It's not about the damage, it's just the little bit of pull duration, which doesn't really scale all that well for the points that you put into it. And you can just use it to secure those range creeps, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think this game's going to be a bit different though for Army Geniuses in regards to how they're positioned too. Like Troll, we saw getting a little bit active pre-Aghanims, but even once you had that Ags, we saw just the constant group up, the constant fighting. And I think for Morphling, it's going to be a bit different here. So Cignal Ultra will have this advantage where Void Spirit's rotations, already we've highlighted that Army Geniuses are lacking a lot of stun, so James is not really too much of a threat this game. And the control as well by the power runes. I mean, you've got a Snapfire and a Nyx Assassin support duo, so at least having, you know, stuns on both these supports to help out from being able to secure is going to feel really nice there. So if James, you can get a nice couple of power runes here, and once you get 60, the emphasis you can put on the side lanes, like with a Batrider diving with a Nyx, or even if they're, you know, getting aggressive on the monkey. So this is a game I really want to see Jamesy pop off. Had a good game on the Mars. Man, excited to see the Void Spirit performance.
Already forcing the TP out of Van there just because of how aggressive they were able to get. He was sitting at about 100 damage, level 1 by the way, on use Elder Titan. Eris here is going to be able to get the pull through to be able to, you know, wait, the creep's just going to farm here instead of underneath the tower. Sure, why not? This is a lot of damage though on the ET. He has to be very careful about getting run down, Eris. And they're going to be able to get off a lot of these denies as well.
Just the combo that we've, you know, saw 0-2 pull out, and now Army Geniuses last game. Honestly, the lane combo with the ET fire is incredibly strong, and it's, you know, still showing at that level 1 how you force the TP rotation. Now the Batrider, who, you know, takes a while for your damage to stack through, especially once you get the level 2, then you've got a little bit more, you know, prowess in the lane, but you need kind of 10 seconds or so really for the sticky to add up. So you know, we'll see Army Geniuses try and utilize that timing to really put pressure on and see how many, if they can really, you know, block some camps. Mid lane though, man, Jamesy taking a beating.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned before about how Jamesy, when these team fights do start, they're going to have such a hard time locking him down. Same sort of story goes for the Batrider though, right? You traditionally building into the Boots of Travel, in the Windlace, might even just go it might be a drums game, to be perfectly honest. Is he going to get dived?
Jamesy dead actually? Oh my.
Forced a Fairy Fire. But yeah, how are you going to be able to stop this Batrider from doing whatever the hell he wants?
Yeah, and that's another big issue where Batrider, if you don't always have to play around your lasso, like this Firefly just getting in and about, you know, constantly in the middle, so fast in regards to with the movement speed, and it's gonna be scary. Chill, boys.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus is like, look, we're just playing some Dota. Don't worry about it.
playing some good Dota as well, but been very impressed with how they're performing. And
playing through legitimate means. The thing I like about Army Genius is like they're just saying chill, take your time, get back. It feels like they don't want to just win for the fact that it will, you know, net them a win. They want to win because they are the better team, and they're willing to experiment with a lot of stuff. Like I mentioned previously, they've actually played in a lot of these tournaments that have been for other regions. You know, they've played in a lot of Chinese tournaments. They've played in even some Oceania tournaments, Army Geniuses, just to be able to, you know, see what styles other regions have. And yeah, I really respect that about them.
yeah, definitely been a team that's been putting the reps in, just, you know, these very minor tournaments, working as a team, and that's something you can respect when you stick around for a long time. You're getting the chemistry built up and working how you can play around and they definitely really have a style. And it's also nice when you see teams can thrive when you have these kind of cheese picks where you're constantly in all three of these games. They've had to ban out the Meepo, they've had to ban out the Husker. Dump up though, Bat getting pretty aggressive. Bat's now got the Jingu stacks, but Wami still trying to have to juke and drive throughout the tree line with the balance. It's immense amount of damage, and Bat will be able to find first blood. So a much different laning stage here for Cignal, which is position 1.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw the difference there. Like, ooh, another pause. The Sand King previously would have just guaranteed that stun. Mirana ended up missing. I think he had the 2 points into the overwhelming odds and never actually used it as well on the Legion Commander. So maybe if he popped that a bit earlier, it would have been, you know, forcing perhaps a bit more defensive play to come out from the MK as well as the Snapfire. But, you know, who knows? Hypothetical. Damn, see, DB, it's okay. We will wait. We want to beat you at your best.
It's the confidence coming through. It's really showing at the moment, especially in their play style between game 1, game 2. Eris is got 6 last hits already as the next 4. He's got Trinks, Love and Life. Man, unfortunately, only 3 last hits is lowest out of all the cores at the moment. So taking a bit of a beating is the Batrider.
He just needs the levels. He needs to be able to get that extra point into the sticky. The extra damage that you're able to net from that is, you know, absolutely enormous. I want to see if there's any stacks that start to get built up. That's probably the one critique that I could make about both of these teams' playstyles, is that I don't feel like they put enough emphasis when they're running past the creep areas into stacking it up. Eris, well, I say that. He's rotating right on through. He's going to be able to stack this one up, as well as contest that 4-minute power rune at the top side. So nicely done by Cignal. And it's going to pay off for him. Oh. Characteristic miss there, though.
Morphlin, not on the limits, able to man fight, and James here.
It's under attack.
Okay, but man, Morph is really putting a beating on the Void Spirit at the moment. 13 denies, so I thought at least the level 1, level 2 was going to go a bit more in the Void Spirit's favor, but we saw Morphling was doing a very good job to harass out, and again, just recognizing the limits, being able to toggle up and down, and really just actually dishing out a lot more aggressive DPS than I was expecting.
And even just against this Batrider, like an IO is fantastic, right? Because you're always going to have a lot of charges into that magic wand. He's going to just continue harassing up Van here, and there's not too much he can do about it. The 1 point into the natural order enabling him to brawl so much, and what I was thinking was that they might try and get a little bit too aggressive onto Army Geniuses.
Jesus Christ. You might still fall here though, the Impale from Eris, but the sticks are just coming into play because of the Batrider lane, so Yu keeps his life, scurries away, finds a bounty, and that's going to be 3 all up for the boys on Army Geniuses once they get their one on the high ground. Jamesy, I think the Morphlin pretty low. That's such a cool emote as well. Some really good ones throughout.
And that was just use stick as well, by the way. DB didn't end up using his 20 charge magic wand when he was tethered up. And now he's got the tranquil boots being delivered out to him, so they're doing just fine, even denying away some of this creep wave. So Van is having a horrible time. They could even just continue to dive this Well, Firefly being used not to be able to farm. They're more than happy for that. It's going to be forced to go through towards this little bit of a stack that they've been able to form. And imagine if he stacks this and they took it away from him. That would be, I don't want to say game losing, but it would be very rough.
Siege. Oh, Blim. Gets in, gets out. DE getting picked up. Morphling doesn't refill the bottle. I guess that's the main thing, but meanwhile, with the hefty amount of denies the Morphling has, it means that James is not level 6 at the moment, so man, 31 and 20, all of Dire are lasting incredibly well. I'm mainly also surprised at how long he's landing. 32 and 0. Yeah, Monkey King's got 9 denies, but at least he's getting a lot more out of it than I expected. And then you take a look at the Batrider, and it's really struggling.
He just got a bunch though from that triple stack, so at least he has something. Those Boots of Strid just completely change the outlook of this lane. Sure, you've got the Elder Titan with the Tranquil Boots that can somewhat chase you down, but at least you can run away without being forced to, you know, use the Firefly, use the TP every single time. He's gone back for more. He is a glutton for punishment.
I guess where else do you really go right now? It's a difficult one, to say the least. You know, hopefully they can continue making stacks for him and can have a good time, but DP just runs him down with the balls, takes a decent amount of damage, and at least now with the ET not being there, he might be able to get a little bit more out of it, but man, they really need to try and give the Batrider a decent time. If you can kind of at least get some catch up, then we see the Void Spirit, you know, at least through the early game, he might be able to make the play. So though James in mid, arrows flying through, has to pop the last ultimate charge defensively to be able to get out of the grasping hands of the Morphling who's trying to find that kill mid lane. It's been a very good start for Army Geniuses once again in the laning stage.
What's Wummy going here with his item build? He's just trying to be a tanky boy as much as possible. Ring of Protection, he's got the raindrops coming through to him, although getting dived a little bit here. Oh, again, just slightly off the mark was Lim.
You see, it's the difference here when you don't have a position 3 with a stun, and I like that they put the Snapfire down bot as well. Like, Grimm's playing up with the Monkey King, having this factor of just the... Your Monkey already wants to play super aggressive. You've got the Orb of Corrosion, then you follow up with the Cookie. It just really is enabling a bat, and he's instantly going into the Battle Fury after the Treads and the Orb of Corrosion. He's got one component completed, and now even a Possessed Mask as well. You love to see that for the Monkey.
Mm-hmm. Just boosting up absolutely everything about his toolkit. Not quite yet level 6 on Wummy, so with that death, it's going to cost him about a full 2 levels ahead, which is, you know, fantastic. It feels like for Cignal to have any hope, this game is, I don't want to say is entirely on him, but feeling very strongly towards that. They're going to try and go for a smoke here with Wummy just hitting up into his duel. Got the arrow, 2 points skilled into it, so there's a lot of burst damage potential. Van actually able to get a kill, so that's huge, you know. Io moving away, he's got his Helm of the Dominator, so he's able to jungle, tried to give a little bit of farm over to this ET, but ends up costing him his life.
Yeah, well, now Van's going to be able to shove the lane in, so at least his tower's going to take a little bit of a beating and might be able to... They actually scouted this movement from Lim and Wummy.
Yeah, they
so this nice observe ward, Radiant can definitely come over and take the fight here. Looks like they even bring the numbers from Army Genius. They want full on brawl. Wummy. Actually, just the movement speed, man. The phase and Windlace mainly going for this build just because in the laning stage against the Monkey and the Snapfire. But you see, he's so goddamn speedy.
James has been kind of off the mark with a lot of these remnants, though. I can think of 3 already 10 minutes in that he's missed.
And another thing about the phase as well, not only for the laning stage, but you take a look at what Cignal, they don't have these really guaranteed stuns. Like Cookie's going to take a little bit of time, so with how fast you are, you should be able to run out of that. The Impale, you can probably sidestep. The Remnant, you know, even the Boundless as well, that's probably one of the easier ones.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be Boundless into a lot of these other stuns. Or
just very impressed with kind of the item build from Wummy.
Yeah, or just Vendetta into stun. That's the only other option.
Yep. Yeah, see, unless they have to commit some other things, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But 4 kills at the moment, 10-30 in lead for Army Geniuses. We've seen this one slow down just a little bit, but once again. Actually,
Van, top
also
side.
haste here, and yeah, Van's in trouble. Pops the Firefly. Let's see if he's going to be able to use unobstructed movement, but can't get down the cliff fast enough as Morphling and DB be able to pick off Van here at the top side.
Awesome decision to try and make that rotation. He was getting so close to those boots of travel, and that really would have enabled him to come back into the game, start having an impact, not just from, of course, being hard to take down in team fights, but just keeping these waves shoved out as much as possible. But with him going down, delays it another minute or so, and with that haste, he can just immediately move back towards that mid lane.
Radiant structures are fortified.
James is going to be able to pick up his first kill of the game. He's even got the cheeky old Royal Jelly as well, so that's going to be so important for the Void Spirit. See how much that's going to be an impact as it continues, just further enabling him. He's even got the Ironwood Tree, so some good neutral items so far from Radiant.
Radiant's middle tower
And
is
though
under
just
attack.
slightly off the mark with that Astral Step. Good support play, refilling the bottle, and it's clear that they just want to try and make as aggressive movement as they can before this Batrider can start to be a bit of an annoyance, you know, with the boost of travel. He's got it finished up, it's coming out to him now.
Attack.
I would go for a Windlace before the Blink Dagger, just because of it's such a low mana cost, as well as being able to provide so much extra maneuverability.
Oh, about. Leaps in forward, but again, I mean, Echo Stomp to set up for an arrow, it's not going to be the greatest, but they do even have to relocate Eris. Let's see if he can disrupt this. Nice impale onto 2, and now Radiant, they want to come over for Bat. If he can drop the Wukong speed, doesn't have it leveled at the moment. They're going to try and find the Jewel, the Boundless Strike. No victory at the moment. Eris making a lot of space, but it looks like a Bat wants to go back in. It's a 1-for-1. And that's going to be all she wrote, it looks like. So a hefty commitment there. Yeah.
Cignal very happy. Obviously, going this farming build, you don't have the point skill to the Wukongs just yet, but to be able to get out of that, some good movement by Abat. TP rotations through to assist from the Nyx Assassin. You're more than happy to give up that life if it means your, essentially your only remaining win condition gets out unscathed.
An easy shot.
Arcane power.
See. Upton for the Yules, just going to help with that setup. Nice way to be able to control the monkey, even like a jump in from the Batrider. Just kind of disrupt the lasso drag back. So you see it's kind of, you have to play a little bit different when you don't have a way to set up for the arrow.
Even if you're, right on point when the Batrider does try and, make an aggressive movement, you can leap forward, you can Yules him up in the air, and, suddenly you're not actually out of position all that much. James, he's doing his best to keep this top wave shoved in as much as he can, but again, Lim just been pretty solid with his positioning, making sure he's in these tree areas that are very hard to find just on their own. Relocates up in a few seconds, but doesn't have the mana really to be able to easily rejoin the fight.
Would like to see an Eris try and make a stack here for the Bat. Looks like the monkey might get it off. Okay, does in the nick of time. There we go. So at least he still gets the Ancient stack with the Battle Fury. Down bot though, Army Geniuses trying to mirror the movement, just infiltrating the enemy team's safe flame. Want to try and put pressure on top of the T1 tower. They even got a very nice ward as well, just in case someone's sitting on the back and if a fight breaks out. But once again, this is going to be another very good Aghanim's timing from DB.
Bottom tower has fallen.
For sure, you pinged out the timing of that Battle Fury though. Pretty nicely done on Abat. That's not just a naked Battle Fury, that's Treads and Orbital Corrosion. He's opting to go into the S&Y, which, they don't have a ton of stuns right now on Army Genius's side, so maybe he's just looking to regulate the duration of the duel, as he's probably going to be the main target for all of that, but even then, I feel like he could just opt to go for some pure stats. If you've got the Ag Scepter, for example, you're always going to have those monkeys spawning during the duel, and you could even potentially win when you've got the turnaround potential from the Mortimer's Kisses coming through on top of it. Mid tower might be in a bit of trouble though. I think they're going to try and do their best to defend against this, but I think they're fighting a losing battle on Cignal's side.
Coming over, they need some way to really start at the moment. It's a bit difficult. Eris is probably the best. Cook is decent actually, but yeah, quick attribute shift more is going to be okay. And well, tower's already claimed, so they can just back off, reset, and Cignal not pushing too fast here. So I guess once again, like we saw in that game one, just hoping a bat could kind of find this second item, and then I guess waiting from there to make a play, because they don't really, you know, the blink on Van, I guess that's the next thing. He's gonna have it probably after one more wave here, and at least that gives you a way to initiate. You gotta be careful where you play though. And actually the Firefly's on cooldown, so Wami's hunting. They even got the relocate as well. A nice pushback. Radiant. They need some reinforcements coming through from Van. He's so fast, but it looks like Legion's still gonna be able to find the jewel. They need this victory, and they'll get it. First of the game from Wami.
Nice, you know, just that extra little bit of movement speed can be real nice for him. Finishes the creep wave except for the siege creep, but now there's even some threat towards the top side of the map. And this game feels very heavily for Army Geniuses on the shoulders of Mamangdaya. Oh, are they going to be able to find out here? It's Jamesy. Again, just the lack of stuns. Even with the using the morph, using the astral step, it's not quite enough. He's able to morph. They found Eris. They dust him up as well.
Another nice impale from him. Just gonna have to run up the higher ground here. At least zones him away from the tower, but Bat shows up with the double boundless. He actually wanted to disengage there, but the cookie coming through, he'll move back forward. Kind of indecisive. You saw him sidestep back, and he's like, well, maybe I'll go in with the cookie, but
so much is dependent on getting this attribute shift off. Like they feels like they're going all in onto it. The silence being built up by the Void Spirit rushing his Ags as well. You know, obviously he's going to be astral stepping in. Again, you don't really have that super reliable stun coming through. So it's...
Uh-oh. A bat. No, the Fan Break!
Oh, no,
that's such a good neutral item as well, and Grimm's... no, that's not good. That's really not good. A bat's just trying to jump away in.
Where's the tips? I need to see the tips.
Man, that's an item you want for a monkey. You're like, no, I want to go back.
Man, I thought it was coded into the game that if the enemy team is like X units away, it physically cannot drop a neutral item. Look at this ring around the rosy, by the way, with Eris and Wami. They're just trying to be like, no, don't duel me, please.
So when we got detection, he doesn't. But Eris is with Vendetta's on cooldown anyway. Can they get it? They do.
He wasn't on the top of the stairs.
Fortunately, they won't get the victory, but at least it's a kill nonetheless. And yeah, just a minor misplacement, I guess, in the TP. If it was a little bit higher, then maybe he would have made it out. Simultaneous jump in the river, though. He's making a lot of space. Snapfire falls. The Bat's trying to find DB as well. James would counter up. Nice balance strike. Holds in limb. They won't be able to close the distance on the Mirana. So look at the space created. Errors. Oh, there's the odds. So Cignal lose too, but they get the kill on the IO, which was the first death of the game here.
Hashtag worth.
Hashtag worth. And now they're going to be able to put some pressure on the T1 tower. Aghanim's now completed its on Yasha, so there's going to be a nice little timing here from Cignal Ultra. Let's see if they can really utilize it though. There's a bat leading the front line, boundless strike. Not enough setup. Actually moving forward, but he eats the arrow. The balance is enough. Stun lockdown, it's not. So Void will pay the price.
Doesn't get the
actual step into the arrow. You hate to see it. At least they get the tier 1, but are they another really quick play like we saw previously from Army Geniuses in that previous game here, going in Roche really early. It's not with the DD, but still with the Ira. Could be enough. They're going to try and chuck up the Mortimer Kisses. Army Geniuses don't have the greatest way to be able to counter that on the backline, but without the stun to really set up, you see the Kisses in doing a lot of damage, and just Eris gets melted. The Bat's going to be careful as well. It's a beautiful boundless strike on the higher ground. He doesn't have the Wukong, so they can't reposition and force Army Geniuses away. Cignal and continue to control their high ground.
They're buying time for Jamesy. They realize how strong he is with this Ag Scepter right now. And yeah, they're not going to be able to finish up the Roche. Even Nick's going to be able to
careful with this smoke. Are they forcing it a bit too much here? See if they...
Perhaps. Well, what's the actual vision situation like? They try to find out the... Oh, he's gone again.
He's back in actually now. Perfect timing and back. Look at this choke point with Wukong's man. They get the lasso as well. They're going to try and bring down DB, but a quick press the attack. DB's going to be able to keep his lap, but he's already used the tether. Won't be able to create some distance away from Cignal Ultra as they're pushing the pace. They want a little bit more here for that. Just the kill on DB is all they get though. a choke point fight with vision in their favor. Very scary for Army Geniuses to walk up like that.
And this kind of feels a little bit more like the Maranas that you might see in your pubs. Not to say that Lim is playing a bad game, but he just has nowhere near as much to play with. You know, in that first game, he went boots into the urn. It enabled him to snowball into even more kills. You know, just enables your roaming potential. But it feels like he's been building towards this Yule Scepter for the past 10 plus minutes, not getting a new item for at least 5. So I think they just need to prioritize giving him a little bit more farm. Let him take up this entire creep wave, to be honest. Like, they're giving it over to Mamangdaya, but he needs something on Lim here. You need a way to start these team fights, because it feels like every single time that you're trying to go for something, it's just not working.
Well, this Mamangdaya is able to pick up one neutral item. See, he's even got the Gobo as well. They don't have to lose out. Well, they got the extra advantage. Who actually is holding the Van Brace right now? Who's utilizing that extra little sneaky pickup? Looks like it's Wommy. Okay. They're still a game where we haven't seen these full breakout team fights at the moment. Continuing to get very farmed. Even though Cignal Ultra are 3,000 ahead in this game, they're not. Who are we favoring in the next couple of minutes? Who's gonna continue looking strong and building on the momentum?
I think you really just need to use this Blink Dagger on the LC a lot more. He's just hit up onto his level 12 as well, so that extra 20 bonus damage per dual kill going to be really important. And I'm liking how they're playing somewhat here. You know, the IO farming down towards the bottom side. He's got the relocate, so he's going to be able to rejoin anytime he wants. But yeah, maybe it's a symptom of him wanting to farm perhaps a little bit more. But he's just on this top side away from his team, and he's the one holding all the smokes. They found the iron
DB once again, and James is in. Stunlock comes from a bat. They're going to try and chuck up the Earth Splitter, somewhat an ambitious attempt to try and protect the Io, but now Eris with the Carapace locks in you, allows the Mortimer Kisses to go to work. They're able to find the dual victory, and they just do so much damage. That E-Blade freshly picked up from the Morphling. So Mamangdaya is going to be able to bring him down. It's a 2-for-1. They're still hunting though, but lacking a little bit of catch at the moment here from Army.
Oh, they're trying to go for the follow-up here onto the Void Spirit. Oh, maybe just a little lack of communication. That was a really clever play by the Morphling, just morphing into the Nyx, using the Carapace into the Remnant. If Lim was on point with the arrow, that could have been a dead Void Spirit as well.
This Observe Ward could be really costly right now for Army Geniuses. Cignal, we already saw that pick off coming in favor because the Bat Rider jumping forward, finding DB, and I mean, let's see, have they got any sentries at the moment? Marana doesn't have any. ET's got a couple, so let's see if they can deward that triangle, because if they don't, I mean, Radiant are definitely feeling in a position, you know, they've almost got a BKB on the Monkey. And even the Bat Rider's almost got BKB, so they are incredibly close to a couple of these big items, and I think once they get on a Radiant, they're probably going to smoke up and try and head to that triangle. Unfortunately, they're not going to get it by the 25 timing, though.
Now, what have we got coming next? It's actually... Who's he looking to morph into here? I guess the Elder Titan on Mamangdaya.
Yes.
Or
else,
press the attack, maybe, is what you want?
That is definitely nice, actually, because I was thinking in my head, like, Bat's got to be really careful with the jump, because, I mean, I should say, actually, Wommy has to be more respectful of how you use the press the attack, and if you just have an extra charge in it almost, because the Morphling can play with the Legion, then it's going to feel really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess ET, though, the Ashul, trying to think of anyone else. Is there anyone on Radiant you'd feel like playing with? Not really, right?
I mean, not really, but you don't need the Ag Scepter for that, so yeah. It doesn't really matter too much. I think this BKB is going to be such a huge item for DB, though. It just enables you to actually sit in the middle of team fights and get a lot of what you want to do done. Just use that Ag Scepter to its full potential. You're not going to be able to worrying about all of these stuns, because right now, the only thing that pierces your BKB is the lasso. And if you've got the movement speed, you've got the Legion Commander who's got the Blink Dagger nearby, you're not really going to be caring all that much.
Time to go. Double BKBs picked up from Cignal. They're going to smoke up.
And
Looks
you've
like
got the
with,
Yules on Marana too. So finally, something to be able to disrupt these team fights. Or even just initiate. This is a Firefly being used though by the Batrider. If they're able to continue running away as they do as a team, they're like, get out of here. They know exactly where they are though. But Firefly will be coming towards the end of its duration, and they will have seen.
Oh, nice stun initiation. Instant BKB pop from DB. But now with the Wukong's command, they're kiting outside the AoE. Instantly, James is going to jump as well on top of the ult time. They're able to bring him down. Mirana's in trouble. Has to get the leap away, but they don't want to try and find the position 4. They want more important kills here.
Still got to
Looks like Radiant, though, they're in the retreat. Morphling wanting to try and find a pick off as the rest of Cignal Ultra are disengaging, but they found the Nick, so there's that setup. Gets the Carapace, gonna delay them for a little while, and now with the Jewel coming out as well, but a nice stun from Eris. There's no follow-up at the moment. Morphling gonna try and get it at the last second. They're finding the last up. Where's the extra damage coming through? They're gonna be able to manfactors out that. Has the Jingu sacks another turn once again. Eris to play on the Nyx assassin. He's on point, but they're done. The buyback from you. He actually tries to rejoin them here, but a Bat's hunting's got the Jingu. Boundless is about to be back up, and now with the stun locks him in. It allows Cignal to close the distance. A dieback for you, a triple for a Bat, and that's a 5-man wipe. Man, Eris in the nick of time. That spike Carapace stopping the Morphling from being able to burst him down. He then gets the Impale, so it stops the Morph from being able to burst through that Jewel, and then from there they just turn it on them.
And again, it's another one of these situations where you go these items and they're just not useful for anything. Like, I don't think your Scepter was used at all in that team fight because Lim is playing so scared. You know, they're playing from behind. You've got so many dangers that you need to be able to try and deal with. And, you know, you're always going to be in a vulnerable position to be picked off with your lasso there. Perfect use by that for Van. Like, a horrible laning stage, it has to be said, but he's definitely turned it around with a lot of his initiations.
And that's what I was speaking about, where they smoked up, still were able to get to the high ground. They found a nice jump, you know, starting the fight. The Ire having to pop the BKB super early just felt like to follow up throughout the later stage in that engagement made it very difficult. And I mean, now Cignal Ultra, level 20 on the Monkey King, has got that extra life. 6,000 net worth lead, and yeah, all cylinders clicking right now for the boys on Radiant, trying to remain undefeated in the lower division.
And that was the thing with Army Geniuses. They knew that smoke was coming because they had this observer ward here on the top side in their own jungle. They also had one that was just either expired or dewatered, didn't quite see on the high ground where the sentry ward is to the left of the Dire tier 1 tower. And they could see the Firefly, so they knew that the Batrider was coming. But it was all for naught, really.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now you've even got this siege creeper, but he's feeling confident. He's got the extra life. He's got, again, the S&Y, so he's just going to be able to take these team fights. With the siege creep, they're going to be able to make that outpost their own as well. So just even more control over this area.
Just limiting whatever farm the boys in Army Genius can get. Take a look at the ward dropped as well inside the base from Eris. This is something that they used previously, if you remember, when they played the Bounty Hunter. That ward really enabled them in that one game where they could find, when they were pushing in through that mid-tier tower. It's just so hard to de-ward with the position. So, you know, I guess if you do your homework against Cignal, if they're ahead like this and looking to try and take that tier 2 mid, then big fan of that ward in that position. Just gives you so much information, and they've got a lineup that wants to jump on the back. How about hunting?
And the thing is, again, though, from Army Genius is like, where is the initiation? It just feels like it's entirely on this Legion Commander, and you have to do it just with the duel. You can't just like half commit with a blink stun like you did with the SK and then get back out and then reinitiate eventually with the epicenter. It's just all in, all at once.
Yep. Yeah, and Radiant have just so many more opportunities to be able to start, and it really feels like when you've got, if it's just relying on one person, then finding that opening is a lot more difficult, because you've even got to keep in mind, if Legion jumps and gets the jewel, then it now just enables the lasso from Van. Like, he does not have to worry about the survivability coming out, so really have to be on point with your timing, and it just, honestly, like, the pressure could get you when it's all up to you.
Pretty well done by Army Geniuses to be able to rotate back, take back their outposts, so at least they're going to get some experience and a couple of these bounty runes as well. So they're not losing their entire map, which is nice, and being able to avoid at least a minute and a half or so of this Aegis timer. But now the tier 2s are starting to get assaulted, so now you're feeling a little worried. That Spirit's hero damage is going to be quite nice, though, on DB now that he's picked it up in combination with the Ags.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Same thing with waveform attacking targets. He's he's morphed into the Elder Titan with the Ag Scepter as well. That's going to be real nice.
Radiant's
Yeah,
middle
cheeky
tower
one.
is under attack.
There's always Radiant. They're rapping through top. And then that Eul's arrow. I don't know what happened there, but a bat's fine.
I suppose it gives them a lot more fighting potential, you know, having this ET morph. All of that BKB extra charge. Era's doing a great job, and who they
the
found
blink on
out.
the back, but now with the boundless strike, Bat's going to try and counter out. But look at the lasso! Batrider keeps Grims alive. He's just pushing him away. Now with the quick on the high ground as well, they're going to be careful to round off the choke point because the Bat, he might be able to drop the
found him.
No, look at the tree! But where's the damage coming through? James going to try and counter up with the silence, but in goes the Morphling with a shotgun build. Monkey falling incredibly low. Eris, it's off the mark, but still, where's the extra damage coming out? There's the overwhelming odds to get the stun first, but a quick press the attack. Morphling, A-OK, but they're going to try and look to determine the second life of Bat. He drops down the boundless strike, and now Morphling's in trouble. Still has the BKB, but the match coming out on top of the Wukong's man. He's got the waveform away, but he's got to get out of here. Man, what a lasso from the Batrider.
Yeah, forces the BKB out from the IO as well. He's trying to get anything. He wants anything at all. Just throwing his body in the way.
Well, Bat, you know he doesn't have BKB. You know he doesn't have Wukong's as well. They're holding the high ground, but Cignal, they've got a nice ward up here as well.
Man, that nearly went amazingly for them. Great cut of the tree there, making sure that, you know, with that stun from the tree dance, potentially able to pick off a Bat, but he's just way too farmed. He's way too tanky, and the Sanjinyasha status resistance plus the Titan Sliver really coming in handy there.
This is a really, really nice play from Army Geniuses. You know that Radiant more reliant on their cooldowns. I mean, Lasso's back up, the Monkey with the BKB and Wukong's, and Dire not really as reliant. Try and smoke to their observe ward. There we go. Oh, Bat's so close. BKB pop. They get the jump. Where's the damage coming through? Morphling instantly on top of the Aether Ramp. No! Once again, with the last one, they're going to try to Bat and drag him away. But where's the extra save return? But this way, now the BKB's back up. 3 down. Army Geniuses. They attempted it, but it just doesn't work in their favor. Van Bishard. Oh my lord. Look at the counter. Usually the Legion. Usually it counters the Batrider, but it's the other way this game. Van's itemization, and now 3 of them don't have buyback.
Beautiful Dota coming through from Van, and the beauty of using that in the saving manner is they won the team fight, and they've got another lasso because it only has a 20-second cooldown where you use it to save a mate. And they're just going to use that with this siege creep to start assaulting the base. Perhaps a little bit premature with the usage of that glyph because the entire creep wave is going to be able to survive now.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Looks like it's this set of racks down bot exposed here. Army Geniuses Morphling back up in 20. You see it's a lot of single target damage though. And if they're unable to burst one hero down, then the follow-up afterwards is lackluster.
I just don't think I've seen the E-Blade used. I don't think I've seen the maximum usage out of the Ag Scepter. So, like, how much gold is that? Just essentially getting 0 usage out of 8,000 or so?
Dire's
Probably
middle
more.
tower is
Yeah,
under
me no
attack.
good at math.
Me not good. Yeah, this is a game where Cignal have ultimate control, but Army, they're going to try.
They're trying again. They're just like, look, we got to just keep throwing our faces into it. Eventually it'll break. Able
Nice
to get
positioning
away.
once again.
Eris. Like, again, this Observer Ward providing so much information. It's just got to expire now, but it's done its job.
Yep.
I wonder,
It is.
like, you've got the S4's $1 million Dream Coil, you've got the PGG Black Hole. Wonder when they're going to, like, the Era Sword, you know? Wonder if he's ever going to become synonymous with these sorts of things.
Make some big plays with that ward. Get crafty. You know, we see now a lot of people like to kind of hold that Quelling Blade, honestly, support. Just get a little bit extra crafty, because especially when you've got a map that has been around for as long as it is, it's, you know, everyone's well aware of a lot of the ward positioning, so you just got to get a little bit extra sneaky in. Well, that's definitely one of the ways to do it, with the ward kind of hiding behind a tree like that. But man, it's now at the stage where Army Geniuses, they just can't split up. They have to stay as 5 because you've got this potential of a Nyx Assassin roaming for the vision advantage, the Bat Rider pick off, and even Jamesy as well. It's a lot of mobility, but they're going to try and play. This is a lot of information that Dire have at top.
Look at all these wards, man. They just know everything about the Radiant side of the map, and they don't mind. They've got a couple of siege creeps. They're like, all right, you're just not going to do anything. We'll keep pushing forward, and it's only going to get worse because level 25 is about to be reached by the Monkey King.
Nice by Carapace. The Robe, they're actually getting damage, but now Monkey King's going to get some able to force up forward. They need the jewel, they're going to be able to find it. Where's the extra protection coming through? The lasso, he's just going to turn it back, just melts him down, but he's still in trouble. Flying to Blade, and then with the Morphling, he's stunned up through the lasso. They're going to be able to secure the kill. No buyback available. Now they'll look to turn for the iron. DP's in trouble. He's got the tether, but where's the target? The iron's just getting chunked. James is directly on top of him. Yours controls him up, sets up for the remnant, and another fight is won for Cignal Ultra. What is going on?
Oh, and Roshan just respawns as well. They get everything going their way. This time around, that's the great thing with the Bat Rider going into this Ag Shard build. You can still use it offensively. He just wanted to keep the Mirana away, make sure they had no stuns, make sure they had no disruption with that Yule Scepter, and that was enough to be able to quickly burst down the entire team.
Sheesh. There's now Aegis on the Monkey, level 25. He's got that additional Wukong's command ring.
There's no way you can contest this when they're pushing towers now. You just toss it down. Maybe getting a little bit aggressive here, but really, where's the damage?
If you have the arrow, maybe.
He could just dance away.
Dire's middle tower.
And he's even got his boys, his soldiers, hitting the tower as well.
Dire's middle tower.
There it is.
Even don't drop that.
Yep.
Dire's middle
Just
tower.
making sure there's no opportunity. We've seen some Monkey Kings not using the Wukongs to be able to take objectives, and it's cost them in games. Nyx once again just eating the arrow. Long duration here. Morphling up alive. Iron on as well.
Going all in.
Gonna try and deal with the first five.
Aegis, though. Again, like he was only able to get a couple of those heroes with the Elder Titan buff, and well, now it doesn't really do much of anything. You know, he's just sitting at pretty standard HP and damage. They got exactly what they wanted.
How do Army Geniuses need to try and construct the team fight? Is there one hero they need to prioritize more than the other? Because it just feels like they're just getting dismantled by Cignal Ultra, and I can't see how they win a fight.
It has to be Bat Rider. Bat Rider is the hero that's changing every single one of these team fights, because again, oh, he's even got the telescope. They've got no way of locking him down. And now he's even got the Ag Scepter, so you're going to be able to not only save your teammate, but drag away the person that is trying to assault your teammate, so that you can then turn around and you know, win the team fight by killing that person.
This was over before it started.
Wonder if Army Geniuses are feeling like, maybe we should have just unpaused. You know, maybe screw their packet loss.
Not being as chill to them.
They've definitely had some good showings throughout this lower division so far, though, and that's not to say that they're out, right? They've yet to play Omega Esports. One of those top 2 spots are still very much available for them.
And that, up he goes. Aegis, another 2 minutes 30. All they got is the potential of being able to burst down the first life. Again, we just see where's the lack of setup here. Like, this was where the Sand King really came into play for the Mirana, and it feels like Morphling, like maybe you can get cheeky with like a replicate with the Void Spirit, but then you really bought the Aghanims for the ET, so you're constantly, if you try and replicate someone else, and it's like, why'd you buy the Ags? And you just need that setup right now, and they don't have it.
Gonna start in onto the Nyx Assassin. Are they gonna fully commit for it?
Let's see, doesn't want to drop the E-Blade, so Eris just keeps his life there. Okay.
Alright.
Bat taking a lot of damage. Surely the balls are able to claim it. It is. Okay. So Bat will pay the price. Let's see how they set up. Split up. Nicely done. And then that's a lot of damage here.
The same.
Genius are able to do it with the lasso once again. Bat, he holds his life now, turns with the Abyssal Blade, the balance shot, but they are able to bring him down. Finally, Army Geniuses, they catch catch a break, but the instant buyback. Monkey King wants to rejoin the Morphling's falling low, but he's got the attribute shift down with the silence. He's got the man to now needs to wait from away. Or does want to go aggressively? The Relocate keeps his life. Buybacks galore coming through. The one opportunity that they have on Dire once again. The last to save drags back at that. He's got the Wukong for the Morphling. He actually went aggressively. He's going to be careful. DP drags it back with the Relocate, but the balance track locks him in place. There with the match coming through as well. He's in trouble. Morphling fully strength more off. He's not going to be able to get any more health coming through. Eris Impale available, but to get the arrow now. Iron might pay the price, and he does, but he's got a buyback and Morphling. He actually runs back in here. He's got to be careful. How antsy do you get here? Army Geniuses, your last racks now exposed here. Glyph is popped, but Jamesy wants to keep the pressure on. Sorry, but it doesn't matter. Jamesy is boundless. It's only the two cores available here, but Army Geniuses, they need some form of hope, but it might just not be there. Io is the heal enough. The silence prevents anything. Eris is falling low. At least they get the waveform away now with the BKB, so they're back in the base. But they do not have a glyph. No buybacks. I mean, you're about to have your Legion up in 20 seconds, but now once again, they're going to jump in for. Maybe they can burst on the Void Spurs now with the Abyssal Blade before the attribute shift DP, and then they get time. Are they doing it? Actually, look at him go! 3 and 4, they're going to be careful because the bat, he pulled back as well. He'll get the tree dance away.
The reload.
So Army Geniuses, they're relocating, but it's just on him. Oh, no, into the remnant. No, Io. What are you doing? You had an opportunity, and now Morphling as well. He's pushed outside the base. Legion's back alive. Potentially, can they get the duel victory coming through? Warming is in. Finds a duel on top of the Monkey King, but Monkey is like, okay, man fight here. Give me the Jinker stacks. Look at me turn as well. The balance going to come up in a couple of seconds, but over the burst. The illusion. No, Army Geniuses, they call it. Cignal Ultra will remain undefeated here in the lower division.
Very nicely done. Don't know if I like the chat wheel coming from a bot there, you know, considering he was the one that they were doing all these pauses for, but you know, they certainly have a lot to feel proud of. You might want to rein in a bit of the cockiness though. I feel like Army